behold your children of time.
Patience, my brethren.
The Great One is all-seeing. All praise to the Great One. The Great One is all-seeing. All praise to the Great One.
Hold on a minute, what's going on here? I'll talk to you about them in a minute. They think they run the blooming stream. Anyway, welcome again to our Children of Time. I was just knackered last week, couldn't do it. But here we go. When, like some dodgy child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I kidnap under 35 Hoovians, take them out of time, Baruza style, and assemble them like character options figurines to answer for the latest RTD episode of Doctor Who, Wishworld. In this case, we also debate, of course, does RTD's Doctor Who have a future? In my case, I think New Who being 20 years old is now old news and is for the knackers yard. It needs a new reinvention. Reminders, Who Night went down very well, so did my Sunday show, but we've got already a few tasty, nice little morsels there for you. Now, remember, if you're new to the show, I call it Children of Time, my Children of Time creche, because, of course, our great super guru of Doctor Who himself, Russell T Davies, said these were his chosen ones, the prize-catching TV. And, of course, he said it himself, Doctor Who is the top drama for under 35s. So, I followed his logic, and I set up my own Children of Time creche. Okay? Teacher analogy, you know, the usual story. So I'll get my panel on. They're in cheeky form. I'm stuffed tonight, I tell you. But we've got all the latest rumours. We've got the latest leaks. We've got the ratings. We've got lots of debate and guaranteed fun. So let's get them on. So it's their name and their age I need to know that they are still verified. So first of all, I'll get Sean on.
I think I'm the oldest, Anna. I'm Sean. I'm 33, and I'll tell you what. I know I know that Garbage, bless him, says the moderator to be really kind in the chat, but I want the chat to go absolutely ape and give it to Brendan with both barrels because he made me watch last week's episode for absolutely naff all. I watched that episode for absolutely nothing. For nothing. No, I've had no release, no catharsis. That sounded wrong. I've nothing at all. Now to drop it on top, I've had to watch this. So I am raring to go. Thank you. Great to be here again.
Well, you saw me as the master laughing, so maybe that maybe that was the plan. Right, I'll go across the pond now to see Sonny. Name and verification. How are you, Sonny?
Captain Sonny Waffles, age 27, and one day my crew will liberate the Hoopettes. Yes.
You've got a vain attempt there. And to complete our quartet, here he comes. He's the quiet and the shy one. Over in Belfast, here he is, Ryan.
Hello! Oh, just to reiterate what Sean was saying, see that making you watch that last week? We're making up for it tonight, let me tell you, so the chat better be ready for this one. My name's Ryan from Northern Ireland. I am 31 years of age. I am freshly caffeinated, masturbated, and ready to go.
Right, okay. I can see the naughty step's going to be in operation a lot tonight. So, of course, depending on how they're going to behave with me as I go through this Doctor Who debate, are they going to get Barusa Brendan, collecting them all and manipulating them? Are they going to get the child catcher Brendan? I think we might need that one. Or are we going to get the super nanny Brendan, where, of course, I just need to kind of coax them out of their shell a little bit more. But it looks as though we're all assembled. I can see they're all in the room now. I haven't had time to change it. Sorry, lads. So I know it's still a good shot though. It's funny. So we know what we're all about tonight. There's a lot of Doctor Who to talk about. Good, bad, the ugly, and I thought we'd start slightly different. We normally start with what the F, but I thought tonight we'll start with. Well, I don't know. I was going to say nightmares, and it could be quite apt. But oh, hold on. before we get the babies crying, those.
I'm dead scared, and I'm dead.
Which of you is not pulling their weight? I will sack you. I want more shonky chats. I want more money. Power.
Not the hairdryer treatment. I haven't got enough hair.
One of you will be off the channel tonight. One of you.
Hell's teeth. Not even my wife is this scary.
So, it's quite key, this, lads. It's scary stuff. So, when I said this on Sunday, can the shonky chat save him? He's the one. He's in. Look, I've got him in the pound. If I don't get shonky chats tonight, he might be for the chop. Yes. So you now know who is the one who's for the chop. Look at him. He's ready there. Iophorus is worried sick. £2 for Brendan. Some much needed Kleenex.
I think Ryan needs the Kleenex.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, thank you for that, Iophorus. I'll get throwing, but we know it's Willie Stroker who's the one in trouble tonight. So
his name's Ryan,
now.
Brendan. Ryan.
Yes. So, nightmares. Now, what do I mean by nightmares? Just so I can explain our first item, nightmares-wise, could be monsters, like the Rutan, the lovely Rutan that we know so well from Horror of Fang Rock. Why am I mentioning that? Little beastie? Well, there may be a reason, and I'm going to come to Cheeky Ryan now. Come on then, Cheeky Ryan.
Oh, you could have given me a heads up, Brendan. Hold on a second. This thing weighs a ton.
Okay, dog. Enjoy this, everybody. Enjoy this.
Right, Brendan, give him an intro.
Right, and now we have, he's called Ryan. No. Get ready
Hold
for
on.
this.
This is genuine.
What's he getting out? What's he getting out here? I'm worried, people.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Look at that.
Jesus.
There he is.
That's cooler than I thought it was going to be.
That is fantastic. I didn't know it had all that movement with it as well.
Right,
Yeah,
this is
there's
just
a bunch
one
of
massive
details,
slab of silicone, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're a bit suspicious looking, but apart from that, it was pretty damn cool. But yeah, we used this. This is the updated version that we done for season 15, the Horror Fang Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that is fantastic to see in the flesh.
That's beautiful.
Oh,
So
but-
yeah, he was beautiful. But yeah, no, we was done. Well, this top sort of obviously, I'm not even joking. He actually has bits of like bathroom piping inside him, so you can actually hold the damn thing. But that there was molded off the top of a IKEA chandelier, and then all these here bits were all 3D printed molds that I done, and then Chris molded them then in silicone, and we put them all together, and there you go. You get if I can get it round the right way, and there you go. You get Mr. Ruben the Rutan.
Oh,
I think the
wow.
chat needs to chat. You need to pour cold water over yourselves. Well, I know it's got a hole in the front, but it's not for what you think. Sort your dirty minds out. It's filth, absolute filth.
Nobody said that.
I'm definitely not sleeping.
You
with
look
this.
at the chat, Sonny.
I saw the jet.
I'm definitely. Well, to be fair, like the tentacles do look a bit sort of suspicious. Way, there's some people out there that might like that for their OnlyFans or something. I don't know.
That's
Oh,
not
that's
Doctor Who.
fantastic. So just as everybody's waiting for Ryan to get back, so of course we had the Rutan original, and of course Ryan and his team they really did work on this, and of course you'll see the team now. Well, there's the actual model, so to speak, isn't it? That's what you set up, and that's what you printed, you said.
I 3D printed, so that there was done in like 2-part molds. So they were all 3D printed, and then they were all cast in silicone.
It's pretty
Wow.
accurate.
Wow. Go on.
The thing is, like we had like if we were doing it again, we do it very differently because we just because we had never done anything like this before. Like Chris had never worked with silicone before, and he just went, "I sure that'll do," and we kind of forgot how much weight silicone is.
Yeah.
So God bless Andrew. Andrew Clements was the guy, because on set, Chris was there filming, and me and Ben Page were the ones moving the tentacles. And God help Andrew. You'll see in the picture of the four of us there, like he's the one who's on the far right on your screen, who's towering over everybody. He sat there holding this thing from the back for about 4 to 6 hours, and I'm not even joking when I say this. Like his arm was genuinely wrecked for about a week after it.
Wow.
So Andy was also bucked into a suitcase and flown to London for the BFI screening. And I swear to God, this happened. And I'm just like, oh God, because at that particular point, I cared more about it than what Chris did. And it came down like the big hill escalator thing whenever you're getting your baggage. And the bag was half busted open, and we could just see a bit of the routing sticking out of the suitcase. Thankfully, it was all still there. It wasn't damaged, and we got him to the screening, and everything was fine. But yeah, he's currently not. He's with me on a holiday at the moment because Chris is in the middle of redecorating his new house, so he's on holiday with me at the moment.
Has he got a name?
He's Ruben. Sure, he's called Ruben in the episode, so he is Ruben the Rutan.
Oh, okay. Well,
or as Ben Page would say, our American puppeteer friend, he would call it a Rutan. So he really emphasizes it, a Rutan. So, yeah. God bless Ben. Ben is the most loveliest person you would ever meet.
Well, that was a lovely treat, and I asked Ryan if he could do that because I knew he had it. He had it just for a couple of days, so that we'll have a few more surprises, won't we, Ryan? I think when we do other things in the future.
Oh yeah. There's loads of stuff, loads of things to see, and probably more to come.
Cool. Can't say too much, can we? But Horror Fan Rock says John Serini made with a mini budget and a classic story, or for a story like that now. But the lads did do a blooming good job with that upgrade, didn't I have to say? It really is. It's very impressive. I mean, you see what it was original, and we all kind of were used to it. So you wonder when people do upgrades, but when you did that upgrade, it really did a brilliant job. I really thought it was worth it.
Very proud of it, I have to say, just because we're all just friends, and obviously Chris is the main mastermind behind it all. But Chris, before this, Chris was very much an FX artist, only computer generated stuff. So this was the first time he had sort of went into practical stuff, brought the rest of us along for the ride, and considering we didn't have a clue what we were doing, it turned out quite well. I'm very, very proud of it, and it's led on to obviously other things. We got to do all of season 25. We got to do Blake 7, season 1, season 2, and more stuff on the way. So it's the first one. I'm always going to be very sentimental about that because it was the first one, and it was my dream come true. Never in a million years did I think I'd get to help make a Doctor Who monster, never mind be on set, which, by the way, is Andrew Clements' sitting room. So that was our set. It was all done in this front room. So yeah, it was a dream come true. It was amazing. Hell of an achievement.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, good for you. And Garbage, following on from other things, does Ryan say to the ladies, come back to my place, I will show you my large green wobbly thing?
It's the conversation starter.
And that's not even the routing.
Yeah, well, maybe can you do the Vardans next? I mean, they did, but yeah. I mean,
put it this way, right? I know what the rough plan is now. There was something that we were prototyping, and now that particular thing has been pushed back, I think till the end of the year, maybe. I do know what one of the next big ones is, and I hope we still get to do it. What the plan is, we are going to fix. I'm not going to say what it is, but people can speculate. We are going to try and fix one of the worst Doctor Who effects ever in classic Doctor Who, and we are going to try and fix it if we can.
Oh, so you're getting rid of Adric?
So disrespectful.
Oh, well, I know you can't say anything, and I appreciate you just teasing us is good fun.
Oh, yeah, I love a good tease.
Yeah. Stephen Braddock, love Horror Fan Rock. It's always a 9 out of 10, but with the new effects and Ruben the Rutan, it's now a 10 out and a gold star next to it as well. So there's a lot of love for it, and quite rightly. And it's nice. I mean, you can hear Ryan's pride there, and quite rightly.
I will just say though, like even the other effects that Chris done for that story, like the rotoscoping that was done around the top of the lighthouse. I
Yes.
genuinely cannot tell you how much time Chris put into just doing the rotoscoping for the lighthouse, like the glass and everything. That took probably longer than anything else, and the amount of work and love he put into that. Like whenever we all got to sit down in the BFI and watch it, it was like watching it again for the first time. It was incredible.
Oh, well, I have to say, you've now made it, as Stephen Braddock said, it is an utterly complete story. It is beautiful to watch. I could watch it quite a lot, and I have to say, my temptation is to watch it almost more than Talons of Wen Chian. It really is strong.
I
Now,
think it just, in a lot of ways, it really is just the perfect Doctor Who episode in so many ways.
yeah, well, SG says Horror Fan Rock isn't scary. SG, to me, that moment when I think it's end of part 2, end of part 3, I was getting mixed up. When Tom Baker says to Leela, I think I've locked it inside. Oh my
Yeah.
God. You don't have to see anything. I think the Horror Fan Rock is a classic kind of ghost story. You have to imagine it's there. It's surrounding you. It's in the water. You get a nice glow, a green glow in the water. That's what you need.
For me, horror fan, it's all about the atmosphere, and it delivers in that 11 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
think I think it drags on a little too long, and I don't think the classic format helps that scariness because I just get bored and I forget what was happening, and I don't know. It wasn't my story. That's all I gotta say.
That's
oh, well,
Americans for you.
I
Anyway,
guess.
that's
I
it.
guess.
Children of time, you see, where you can't account for taste. So, that was me trying to subtly, not so subtly, mention nightmares. However, we are going to come to nightmares in Doctor Who. So this is, lads, when I actually give you a chance to properly speak. But so, Sean, you don't have to mention. You can mention the episode you had to watch a week ago, and then I'll let you down. You can mention this week's episode. You can mention anything else that's going on in Doctor Who that's given you nightmares. So
I
you
mean,
get a free hit, Sean.
sorry, mate. Well, I mean, they've just become a chore to watch. That's the nightmare. It's a chore. I watched this most recent episode, whatever the hell it was called, drunk in Prague after ridiculous amounts of Pilsner Urquell, which is the nectar of the gods, and it was still boring as boring as sin. It's like it reminds me of Jodie Whittaker's first season. You're watching it series, you're watching it, and you're like, oh, this is kind of interesting, a bit boring, a bit slow, but it isn't. And then your brain goes, this is meant to be Doctor Who, and you go, oh god, yeah, this isn't. The last couple of weeks have been all right. They haven't been terrible, but they haven't been like, it's still not anywhere near what Doctor Who will be, should be. And they never, no, why does no one die? That bit in the last episode with the Eurovision where all the people floated out of space, I thought, oh, this is more like it. Give us a bit of death. But they undermined it. And like, I was literally thinking, yes, this is what I want. Kill them all. And then, like, then all of a sudden, like, everyone's alive again. And then the bi generation again, you're like, oh, not another one. Not another one. And like, the flipping Mrs. Flood just becomes she's just get me a sandwich, get me a cup of tea, get me this, get me that. And you're like, what is this? And I like that, but this episode actually, it was all right. It's a bit weird. It felt a bit like what they did with the Marvel. You can really feel the Disney kind of influence. There's just no jeopardy in it. It's not gritty. It looks too pretty, but there's nothing behind the eyes. It's like going on a date with someone who's stunning, but they can't hold a conversation. It's like, yeah, visually it's okay, but there's nothing there. Like, this isn't going to go anywhere. I'm going to end up home alone like Ryan with my, it's not going to happen.
I feel as though there's a generation jump here. One's talking about chatting up people. You're talking about dating. I'm sat here going, well, I'm married. Sat here going, what? So dating, yeah, okay, I know. I'm going with it. So, Sonny, I know you're on our Who night, but You've had more time to think about it. You've read other stuff about Doctor Who at the moment. Where do you stand? Anything really giving you nightmares?
I said I was down for a season 3, and I would watch it because I think it's hilarious. I can't watch season 3 if the Doctor regenerates into Rose Noble. That would be the evidence and the rumors of just that alone gives me nightmares. 'Cause I'm like, I'm gonna have to quit the show. I'm not watching the Doctor being Rose. No, no. Gatwa, sure, you already got me, but Rose, that's a nightmare.
Ryan, you've had a week off from Children of Time, so you must have had a couple of nightmares coming up. So,
Well, as we've been doing this series, I will just jump back though to last week's one, because the whole joke of this current run that we're doing is the one I was really, really dreading was the Eurovision episode. Don't know something.
Wasn't that bad?
Definitely, I actually didn't dislike it as much as I thought it was going to. I actually thought it was okay.
Yeah.
No, the thing that was like, there was things I didn't like about it. Yeah, I agree that death should have actually happened. Yeah, like I actually liked that bit. I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of people dying. Actually, I hope, but of course they're all gonna get saved. And you're gonna bring back the Rani, but you're gonna do it basically in a mid-credit sequence. Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, I could talk. I'm not going to talk about that because it was all right. But anyway, this week really, really did surprise me because, well, Doctor Who continues to surprise me because just when I think it couldn't possibly get any worse, Wish World happens. What an absolute mess! Like, okay, you bring back the Rani. Okay, we'll have that character be the Rani and not basically doing things that the Master would be doing. Number one, like the entire story is just a mess. Like this is meant to be your bit. Like this is part one of your season finale. I didn't know half of what was going on, and you're trying to set up a million different things, which I know this week coming, you're going to try and wrap up in the last 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to be a complete mess. And the fact you brought back Omega, like I adore. Like by the way, it's Omega, not Omega. By the way, sorry guys, it's Omega.
Okay.
I adore that character. I love that character so much. But oh god, you haven't even got a wrangle on what you're doing with the Rani. You're going to bring Omega into it, which we already knew was going to happen weeks ago anyway. We spoke about this weeks ago. Oh yeah, Susan's going to come back. Omega's going to come back. The Rani's going to come back. It wasn't a surprise. And you're going to bring, basically you're going to do exactly what they done with Zootek last year. That's even if he does show up, but you're bringing, yet again, this is meant to be a brand new era for new people, apparently, and yet again, you're bringing back somebody from the far past at this point. Like, the same people who didn't know who Zootek was aren't going to know who Omega is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just aren't. You know what I mean? It's odd, Jesus. But yeah, this episode as a whole, I was genuinely sitting watching it with this kind of facial expression. I was like, what the hell? Like, even the stupid wee little things was annoying the hell out of me. Like, 1 minute they've got an iPad that's somehow still connected to the old universe. Okay, cool. But okay, oh yeah, this works. Okay, where'd you get the stand from? We're trying to be sneaky here and do this undercover. Let's just do it in the middle of the road with a big massive stand with an iPad on it. Okay. And why does Belinda go out into the middle of the woods and scream? She's obviously having doubts, but at the end of the episode, it's actually her that turns the Doctor in for having doubts.
You didn't like that scene?
Like,
I didn't
I'm
know
not even joking. Like, they could literally look at any scene in this episode and just rip it apart. It makes it's just pointless.
I didn't know if it was just she was having a bad day and she had to just run off.
Who's writing this?
I mean, if you were married to Shooty, you'd run out into the woods and scream as well. I think. I mean, you know,
it was like a classic 1950 because it had the 1950s retro. She was like a 1950s woman who's just discovered her husband is gay, but she's been sleeping with him, and she's like, "I know you don't love me. I know we've got a, yeah, all this stuff. It's almost like that. But her run was weird. Have you seen her? You have to look at the bit where she's running. Her arms are by her side, and it's like it's not quite Sound of Music going in Austria. It's not quite. It's a very strange sequence.
I want to know how far she ran though, because one minute she's in the middle of a housing estate, and next minute she's in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you
I mean,
doing
It's
that?
a very
London?
weird town.
Like,
Yeah,
I've been
can
to
we shout
London
out as
twice.
well?
There's nothing like that.
Yeah, you don't want to go again. You don't want to go again. Can we shout out as well Ruby's mum for docking her daughter in it again? It's like, yeah,
Again,
she's
I
having
noticed
she's having doubts. Is it how many times do we have to see that actress with her face like a smacked ass? And like every
She is
time.
the worst
It's like,
foster
bless
mother
you.
ever.
Well,
It's
Sean,
like, can you cart her off?
Sean, I'm the one who can do that face here. So I could have you on the naughty step for, just going too far. Of course, there's Ryan. He's already said shit, so he's off and running. And
Hey, look at
obviously
it.
if I-
Yeah.
Oh,
if I
I'm
put-
waiting for something there. All right, anyways.
Not the Rutan, I tell you. But so, by the way, thank you. I saw that, Paul Ashworth. Thank you very much. And the Hoopettes are going to say thank you, although one of them's for the chop, as you know. But thank you very much. So thank you very much for that, Paul. Thank you. So I'm getting the vibe that it's going to be a nice, quiet stream tonight. That's
yeah.
good. And Garbage is saying part 2 is always worse than part 1. That's what worries me, because I think part 1 has not exactly got me excited.
Yeah.
Paul Richards has said, obviously, the walking dinosaur skeletons were symbolic of those with outdated and old-fashioned attitudes. All right, we'll leave then.
Well,
I'm glad somebody understood that.
you think they're gonna come back?
So, as everybody in the thread knows, they've only just started. So here we go. So nightmares. Oh, hold on. I did say we've got a problem. I've just had reports that he's no longer with us in captivity. He's just been found. I don't think he's with us anymore, because I don't like anyone messing with me. And so, just so you know, you don't mess with the sense for you. You don't let me down. He wasn't pulling his weight in the call centre, and he's now just been found by the side of a road. Don't want to say anymore. I've just heard this is how he died.
Is he getting something inserted that we just can't see? All right.
So yeah, so maybe this is what was happening to Sean in Czechoslovakia. I think, You said you were drinking a lot, Sean.
Oh,
I was, but I didn't bend over a casting couch or whatever's going on here. What's going on here? What's the bubble? Why is the shrink wrap down? Is there a murder going on? What in the Goodfellas is this? What are you and Jamie doing in that house?
Dexter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've watched enough Silent Witness episodes. I know what to do. So basically,
I'm crying.
The DNA will not be linked to me. Sorry, folks, you'll never see him again.
Oh, no, what? We have officially corrupted Brendan. I'm really, really sorry.
So yeah,
I'm
was
really
flushed
proud.
away.
Resorted to
Can you
murder.
imagine what next week's going to be like? Jesus.
Hey, well, Sean said he wanted more death, but we've just had one.
You're only supposed to put your hand. You're only. I didn't think I'd ever have to say this. I really didn't. But you're only supposed to put your hand up the puppets. I know I shouldn't have to say that. But sorry, everyone. There's filth. There's
Not
no
to
need.
change
This
the
is what it does.
You went, oh, shit, I went too far.
More death than Wish World.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is, you know what, though? This is so great that we can have something more entertaining than our entertainment program.
I know, but way more entertaining than Doctor Who. That's a damning indictment. I'm not that funny. Like, this
Oh,
is a good
Jesus
thing.
Christ. All right.
That's how
Flip me.
bad
More
the
laughs,
show is.
more Jeopardy.
Oh,
Hey, I'll
right.
make it. I'll
We're
make
fine.
it
We're
worse for you.
okay.
Here we go. There's some of other cheeky items coming up in a minute, lads. But I'll just show you this. So we were talking about the Doctor Who, its future, how we feel about it. Even little, kind of organisations. Kent Online was saying it's time for the BBC to axe Doctor Who and realise it's fallen victim to the same trap as the Star Wars franchise. And then they're going about when I was young, with all its wobbly scenery and rubbish special effects, it was essential viewing. I'd sit there after Jim will fix. Well, hello. But with its latest all singing, all dancing, current version apparently hanging in the balance, Doctor Who that is, not any ill-advised revival of Jim will fix it, I will not shed a solitary tear should it fall off our schedules. Not, however, for the reasons you may suspect. And then just one more bit, lads. Tom Baker with his big hat, hair, big scarf, voice was my introduction and remains a bit like Sean Connery as 007, my favourite. I used to see Tom Baker around where he lives, but as I got old, it seemed to get sillier and sillier. And he goes on about, moving from Davison to McCoy. And that in essence, so many people are getting to that position. So many people in our thread. Myself talking to Jamie are saying, I just wonder if I'm going to disappear after season 2. So do you get the issue about the Star Wars? I haven't watched all of the Star Wars franchise since, the series and everything. But do you think we're onto something here where actually Doctor Who it's on the cusp?
Star Wars started to fall off with the legacy casting, and Doctor Who actually fixed that problem with the regeneration of the legacy casting. But then they started actually doing it ideologically wise with Jodie. So Star Wars started spinning their wheels with the movies and a lot of these later comics, and that's what Doctor Who's been doing honestly since Jodie, right? So yeah, the Star Wars parallels are there.
Right. What about you, Ryan?
Well, I've always been quite critical of Disney Star Wars, to be honest. I will say though, I'm actually just off the back of watching season 1 of Andor, and it was very good. I do have to say it was very, very, very good. And I'm in the middle of watching season 2 now, so we'll see how that. So far, I'm not enjoying it as much as season 1, but we'll see. But season 1 was very, very good. Wasn't a fan of the new movies or any of that. A couple of TV shows okay, but a lot of it was just absolute nonsense. As far as, but I think, could you really compare that? The thing is, with Doctor Who, are they trying to make it into something that it's not? I think whenever the 60th was happening, the Whoniverse and all this crap, are they like? I think certain people and higher ups maybe look at Doctor Who like, oh, this is a major franchise like Star Wars or, you know, flipping Star Trek or whatever. Doctor Who is a very, very different thing from that. You can't compare the two. And trying to make the show something that it isn't. Doctor Who doesn't need to be this multinational, massive franchise. The fact what made it special was the fact it was the smaller little sort of guy, on the BBC going, "Hey, I can still play with the big boys." We were all just sort of nerds and all loved it. It doesn't need to be big and flashy. That's not the reason why we love this show. We leave all the big flashy stuff to Star Wars and Star Trek and all that. We liked it as it was. It didn't need all glitz and glitter.
Well, it's like you said about the Rani being like the master, and of course,
Yeah.
or like Count Dooku on a jet ski flying around. It's like, what?
The thing, I guess about it, I'm just shocked though whenever, because obviously Russell T Davies likes to advocate himself as he is a big fan of Doctor Who, but he's not very good. Like, why then are you not writing the Rani properly?
Yeah.
It's just a very simple question that we put to the
Why
man.
not just bring back the master if you want to use the master?
Exactly.
Because he's scared, Sonny, of doing another male Time Lord. He was scared of the progressives. Sean, you're a fan of movies and everything. Is this clearly Doctor Who?
Mhm.
I was dreading this song, Sean, when Doctor Who came back with RTD, not because it was RTD, but people were starting to say Doctor Who could have the same malaise that has hit Hollywood with Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, Disney. And I feel as though Doctor Who's been hurt the worst.
Yeah, I was just about to say the words out of my mouth. I think I'm not a Star Wars person, but I don't think anything's happened in that that's completely destroyed it, that's unrecoverable. Star Trek, they've done a lot of damage to it because they won't move forward with anything. Ever since Star Trek Enterprise, which I love Enterprise, so underrated. After that, they lost all like want to move forward. No new captains. They just keep going back over old ground. Oh, it's Spock. It's his sister now. It's his. But you're like, oh God, can't you just move on? Give us a new captain. Give us something new. But I think Doctor Who is irreparably damaged. I think it was damaged by Whittaker and Chibnall looking back. But then, to be fair to them, I just think it was somebody who just didn't really have the talent. I don't think Whittaker, she was miscast. I think it was done for the wrong reasons. And the writing just wasn't very good. But the show wasn't, until, I'll tell a lie, until The Timeless Child, which was horrific. Until that point, it wasn't damaged. I think that was like the terminal decline. But then what RTD's done, because if he'd have come in and just ignored or even like slightly cleverly retconned The Timeless Child, people would have gone, okay, mate, I'm with you. I am with you. Give me what you know, because there was messaging in this original series. You can see it even more now because you're more tuned to it because it's everywhere nowadays. But it's there, but it was done in a much, this is a word we've lost, subtler way. Whereas when you watch it now, you do wonder who they're making it for, but they're not making it for anybody else but themselves, in my opinion. But I think the show is dead. I think they've scorched the earth. I think it's so damaged that the only way to save it would be, in my opinion, would be to bring it back and either start again with the Doctor, a complete reboot. So there's been no Doctors before, just reboot it completely. Or, because I don't think they would have the cojones to go like, right, okay, well, we'll go from like Capaldi, or we'll go from Smith, or we'll go from even, the eighth Doctor. I don't think they dare. I think it's finished.
I did agree, and I've stuck with it all the way through that for every favorite Doctor, you have a least favorite, and if mine is different to somebody else's, who am I to erase somebody else's Doctor? Sometimes it's a style thing, but I know where you're coming from now, Sean, because it's not the Doctor that's the problem. It's the whole mess of some of the stories and some of the canon, and Timeless Children, Flux, and a lot of what's happened in the Shooty era, you are almost tempted to say, do you know what? It might be easy to go back. Now, I think the definite is a break is needed. I made a point in the introduction, and New Who is 20 years old. Now, when Doctor Who was 20 years old, we were doing Arc of Infinity with Omega. We were doing all them. We were doing Snake Dance. We were doing the Black Guardian trilogy and the King's Demons. And then we had the Five Doctors. It was starting to do a bit of fan fiction then in a better way. Terrence Dicks knew what he was doing, but it was a little.
But this is anti-fan fiction. This is anti-fan. It's so spiteful. That's what gets me. This isn't done. It's the emotional feel around it. Like, I just don't care anymore. I realized about 3 or 4 episodes ago, and I think you can probably hear it in the streams, that I just don't really care anymore. And I'm literally watching it for you and to chat about it with you guys. It's the only reason I watch it, because I don't think it's fair to come on and slate it if I haven't watched it. But I do watch every episode thinking, oh, come on, surprise me. Like Ryan said earlier, that Eurovision episode was the best one we've had, I think, since RTD came back. But even then, they kind of wrapped it up too quickly. They didn't dare kill anybody, But overall, it was okay. It was okay. It was entertaining, but it's too far gone now.
But this is what I mean. We were joking about it a bit earlier, which is there was no death and all the rest of it. And do you know what? We've all had the same thought when we saw that dome roof disappear. It was such a dark, brilliant moment. And you thought, yeah. I mean, I know it sounds terrible, but we're tuning into Doctor Who. We want to see some death. Hello, horror Fang Rock, which Ryan and his team were upgrading. Who survives that?
The Doctor and Leela.
You know, that's it. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a classic. So basically, we do need death in Doctor Who. Otherwise, I ask you, after 45 minutes watching something, what's the point of watching it? What? Because Rylan was in it. Or it was great. I had to watch it because they had a great message about disability. Oh, go do me a favor.
Can I just say, sorry, while I remember, can I just say, the, the Earth blows up. There's none of it left. Right, there's a calendar, a taxi, a bit of the Eiffel Tower, right? Like we saw at that trailer bit.
Yeah.
But magically, all this Eurovision memorabilia survives. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Where was that? Is there like a hidden bunker somewhere in Sweden or some
It'll
such
be
place
Brussels.
full of like Eurovision stuff? Like, even if we go, this will survive and we'll create this really nice museum. I was like, really?
Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell
I
you,
just thought it was
Heightened
hilarious.
culture.
It just makes no.
it is one. Actually, there is one thing I want to bring up. Actually,
Wow.
before I do forget about it. Something I have noticed over the last 2-3 days. I'm like, that's interesting. What's the actress that plays Belinda?
Verada see-through. Yeah.
See, even the fact we're not even flipping too sure about that. Where we all know who Billy Piper is, we all know who Freema Agnew is, we all know, you know what I mean? We all know who Catherine. That's a problem. Anyways, I have noticed over the last couple of days, they have her doing a lot of promotional stuff, but there is no sign at all of Shooty at all. Doctor Who studio tour yesterday was all her. There was like a intro thing to do with this week's common episode, all her. No sign of Shooty whatsoever. I wonder where he is.
Well, I
In
wondered
hiding.
whether I did say whether I thought he had dysentery because he had to back out the Eurovision Song Contest and he couldn't do the verdict, could he? He couldn't. I mean, it must have been something really serious because all he has to do is go in front of a mic like this and go, and these are the results from the UK jury. You're all a bunch of swines because you've given us no points, so we're giving you none. No, that's all he had to say.
You didn't even have to smile.
Yeah, but he couldn't do it. We all know why he couldn't do it, and we all surmise it. But
That's
so
why he's in hiding.
yeah, the fact is, Ryan, maybe he's just really ill with dysentery.
First I've heard of that, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, no, well, we all think it was.
I've never heard a more polite way. I've never heard a more polite way of saying somebody's absolutely full of shit. Sorry, everyone. Couldn't resist.
Right, that's it. That's it. Trouble ahead. There you go.
Hey! Oh, here. How the hell's he beat me? He's got 2 naughty steps. I have to up my game here.
I think you want to be on the. This is going to go wrong when the kids start wanting to be on the naughty step.
This is going wrong.
Yeah, there's something
Not at
wrong
all.
then. Now let's make it worse.
Oh, for I seen
Ryan.
this.
That's the
look,
worst
I
thing I've ever seen in my
genuinely
life.
I seen this and I genuinely want to start doing that to my phone. Why are you making Doctor Who Barbie dolls? Stop doing it. You've done it with Julie Whittaker. Stop doing it. Jesus Christ.
Literally the Barbie signature.
So, Aunt, you do all your plastic.
Who's the face meant to be?
Well, I'll zoom in for you. Here we go.
What the fuck is that?
Has he got his hands in his pockets?
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
going
you
to say.
know.
Lost his hand in his pocket.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's
Pocket pool.
So, well, you do all the plastic stuff. You do the models and that. So, wouldn't this be something that you think, oh, wow, look at
You know
that?
what I find really funny about this? They made this, and yet maybe people will want it. We don't even have a character options figure of him with his TARDIS, but they've made this.
Hey, 50 quid as well.
Bargain. No,
That's
I'd
real?
buy that and use it as a voodoo doll. Oh, whoops, that was.
Well,
Whoops.
you've got that. You've got that. I'm not getting this sort of stuff. This is getting ridiculous. This is talk about. You see, somebody was arguing on my rating show earlier and said, you know, Doctor Who still makes so much money for the BBC, and I said, yes, the classic Doctor Who does.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
Who's buying this?
yeah,
Oh.
nobody's buying it. Who wants to buy that? So of
It's
course,
a Barbie doll. So like, do little girls want this doll? I don't think so.
well, everybody when they saw this started to talk about this. So they said that's Shooty's doll, really, Tiny Tears.
They said we already have that one.
So, but then he did do an Instagram on it.
Oh my god!
He
Here, look
messed
at
up his
this.
mustache.
He said,
Sorry,
after
I've just read that. Sorry.
after a long day doctoring, I love to hit my G spot.
You know,
Yeah,
Did he
that's
actually say that?
it's
yes,
right
that's his
there.
Instagram.
It's his Instagram.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So this is
This is what I don't understand, right? Is this the same actor that RTD told off for swearing on the TARDIS? And they've got you couldn't write something like that if you worked for like a big company. Did kick off with you? They'd be like, you can't post stuff like this. It's not appropriate. It can reflect badly on us. Your face, your G spots in view. What's
when this is the issue.
Oh God.
The arguments of New Who. I think New Who should be killed off, and we need a new version of Doctor Who. New Who was an ambush by RTD when you look back. So, shall we have another ambush? Nothing to do with him. Because what's happened under New Who is it's become sexualized. And I'm not going to go through all that whole argument again. But you've even got the
Oh yeah.
you've even got the Doctor, and I know he's joking around, but the point is Tom Baker wouldn't, John Pertwee wouldn't, William Hartnell wouldn't, I'm sorry, but the others would not have done this because they took it seriously. They would mock it on interviews and stuff like that in that jokey style that they used to. But no way. Go on, Sean.
Sorry, can I just come back in there because I know what the counter argument to what I said to be is. This is nothing to do with Shooty's sexuality.
No.
I would be saying the same if this was a woman doctor or if it was one of Eccleston, Tennant. I would be saying this. I know that this technology didn't exist then, but I'd be saying the same thing. That this is not an appropriate. Like, you want to send stuff out to whoever, fine, but like you're meant to be fronting this show
For kids.
that they keep telling. Like, it just doesn't. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
Can I ask a stupid question?
For a start as well, we're British, so we're meant to be a little bit more restrained, aren't we? Or maybe not. I don't know. Sorry, mate. Go on, Ryan.
I was just going to say, can I just ask a really stupid question? Do we even have G spots? I thought that was a lady thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, they are.
I suppose
they're up somewhere.
He's giving me an exam.
Yeah, you've got to check your prostate. The Who pets get it checked every day.
Oh my god.
So there you
They're
go,
old
folks.
enough.
I thought you'd cheer it. That would cheer up. So
I think we need to sing a new song for Ryan. A whole new world. Sorry.
No, actually, the best line. No, wait, no, I can't. No, I can't say that.
Well, let me just move on because honestly, we're already getting the laughs tonight, but the debate is coming. So nightmares wise, lads, I still think of this. This was in the Mail the other day, and some articles they're meant to trigger you, but they were using Doctor Who as well as one of the things. More than a third of white men fear they're being held back at work because of their race and gender, with millions walking on eggshells in the office, too scared to speak freely. You think of Robot Revolution, you think of Conrad Clark, the attack on a lot of us in, I've forgotten the episode now, The Story in the Engine, and you hear the agenda going on. And I fear what I called in one of my streams months ago, I fear the Jaguar effect on Doctor Who. Now, if you look at that, you've got the pink TARDIS, because of course he's linked with Barbie, the movie, and they did a pink version of that. You see his costumes. We've had a drag queen in Doctor Who. I could go on. It's not just one exception. I'm saying there's a whole agenda, including what we just saw in one or two of the last shots. And so I worry about that. Then you see a BBC iPlayer advert, right? For watching BBC programs. So you look at who is the target audience that the BBC thinks are watching. And so they have one white lad, and I'm sorry I have to say white black, but one white lad, and he's watching RuPaul in bed. But I don't know what sort of lad this is. He has a football by the bed. You can't quite see. He has loads of stuff that makes him seem like, he's the normal run-of-the-mill lad. And then he's watching RuPaul, and then two drag queens appear on his bed. And then he has a smile on his face. And I'm thinking, God, this is not the type of man I know. And
Mm-mm.
then we had a girl, I don't know if she's South Asian in background, and then she's watching a Doctor Who episode and she likes sci-fi. So I know they're wanting more women in this, I have to say, and I've got an issue to mention in a minute, and the Sontaran doesn't like her making noises with crisps. And then you get a family traveling on the motorway, and the kids are messing on a bit, so they then give them something to watch, and it's that. And I have to say, I keep thinking, is this the Jaguar effect on Doctor Who? And this is what RTD's doing. That's obviously from the Jaguar advert, and we know how that tanked. By the way, does anyone know who had that?
Mm-mm.
Because that
Barbie?
looks,
Penelope Pitstop.
yeah, well, it looks like the Jaguar car, but it's actually the Pink Panther show car.
Oh, I was
If
gonna say
anyone,
Penelope Pitstop.
oh, honestly, I'm the dinosaur here. Before Doctor Who was on in the 70s, sometimes you had Basil Brush, but sometimes you had the Pink Panther show, and they had some real film footage, and a lad would get out the car. This looks like the Pink Panther, although because of the pink, it does look like a Jaguar advert. But yes,
Mm-mm.
I will just show you that. And then, of course, you had this in that camp
Mhm.
on Wish World, and who the hell's that? And so you're thinking, who are we talking to in Doctor Who now? That's a very, very strange looking camp where all these misfits are. Look at the orange and the green and the rainbow and the. Is he a drag queen? I don't know if is he trans? Is he. What? Who are we making this for? And whatever I show you, BBC iPlayer, black family, Asian student, I think, girl, and then you see the white man in bed, but the only white man in bed, which represents, what was it, 88% of this country,
You would
is
think,
obviously wanting to watch RuPaul, for God's sake, with drag
right?
queens in bed. The representation is all over the place. And I think, lads, so I'm going to shut up now. This is the problem with Doctor Who. RTD, like the BBC, both of them are going so niche. A lot of us are going, this is not for me. I mean, do you watch RuPaul, for example, Ryan?
Really? No.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
That's
I
shocking.
mean,
Well, look, all I'll say is this, right? If they want people to actually start paying their TV license, maybe they should actually start making programs for everybody.
yes.
They want everybody to agree with them and to adopt LGBT ideologies and do all that stuff. So they put it in the medium and be like, "Look, this is you. Look," and they think
The
that
thing is,
transforms people into that, I guess. But
there is
it only works on
nothing,
children.
there's nothing wrong with that community, any of those communities being represented, but everybody should be represented in some way, shape, or form, not villainized, which certain demographics, which most of us in this chat are right now, are kind of being made out to be the enemy. And we're just like, hey, we just want to, just be us. We don't mean any harm. We come in peace.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily link this to so many Doctor Who episodes now, Sean, but the issue is, I've got no problem with this per se, that per se. I have no problem because that's representation. But the representation of a black family looks like a normal family setup, kids messing on, blah, blah, blah. She's kind of a student watching a bit of sci-fi on the side. Fine, that's normal. What the hell? When do we represent the majority of the country accurately? And RTD, as Ryan has just said, write some Doctor Who which is actually accurate sci-fi and proper sci-fi and actually represent the main audience who are watching, which is not all these people.
Yeah, that's like I can't.
RTD.
Oh, go on ahead.
No, go on, mate. No, go on.
I was going to say, now, let's just face facts here, right? Obviously, shows like Doctor Who, all sci-fi has all walks of life liking this stuff of any program, any show, any genre, whatever. But let's face facts. Whenever it comes to Doctor Who, 9 times out of 10, the sort of average fan is going to either look like me or Sean or Brendan. You know what I mean? Not to single you out, Sonny, but you know what I mean. Like, but yeah, we're being the ones vilified. But you know what I mean? It's just very much like it's been pushed towards a small demographic. Not that that demographic shouldn't be represented, but it should all be brought in as a whole, just right for everybody. You know what I mean?
But
I don't find it. I said this in the last stream. I don't find this. It's not how I look at the world. I don't look at the world like this.
Yeah,
I meet people. I treat them with respect. Yeah, but there a lot of us don't, and I think that's where this disconnect's coming.
That's why.
And what I was going to say in answer to Brendan, what I was going to say to Brendan was that I think RTD showed you his colours right from the beginning were awful. And I know most of us have tried to erase it from our mind. That god-awful Children in Need special, which was horrendous, where Davros all of a sudden was out of his life support system. And he said in the behind the scenes, I say this is what Davros is now. I say. He said it back then. So this is not, I know I'm not trying to burst a bubble, but we've got to come to the realization, and it's a hard one. They don't care what we think. They don't care that it's not sci-fi, it's fantasy. They don't care the majority don't like it. They don't care. They're not going to listen to us.
It's
And
quite
I'm not
funny,
trying
though,
to stop what we're doing here, but they don't care.
It is funny though that he is in charge of a show that actively goes against. Because then again, let's face it, Russell T Davies is one of us. He's a fat white nerd. You know what I mean? He is technically one of our demographic, and yet he's right. He's in charge of a show that is not aimed towards him in any way, shape, or form.
I'm not.
But this is what I mean. It's the self-flagellation angle, isn't it? I mean, I am concerned that we've got this two-part finale, and we've seen the messaging. We've seen it's very, very light touch Doctor Who, as we've kind of hinted at, and we'll go into more detail soon. And I'm concerned that he's thinking to keep you sweet, it's the Rani, it's Omega, whatever, and maybe a regeneration. But actually, most of the story is representation messaging and nothing to do with the show that you love. And as long as, as long as we see touches of Doctor Who, we're supposed to be happy nowadays. Now, John Sweeney here says, while we have the head people at the BBC with their woke agenda, there's no point having Doctor Who next year as they're using the show as a vehicle for their ideology. I mean, Sonny, I know you've been trying to come in a couple of times.
No, but I would even fight against that almost, because I wouldn't even mind if it was like a woke propaganda show that they just built in house, because you can make fun of it like that. This is just like more disgusting and like ideological propaganda aimed at children, and that's why I'm like, I can't take it. I just think he's a propagandist, and they want to keep their double standards, and they want to be perpetual victims forever, right? So they can't admit to the progress that's been made, even though they're progressives, and they're gonna constantly be these victims and try to like brainwash people into like this is normal. Like people are like this all over the place. So it's so weird.
Well, Randy Howell, thank you very much. I'll bring you in a minute, Sean, but thank you very much, Randy Howell. Traditional broadcast TV will be dead within 10 years, and all this will be a history footnote. But I mean, in my ratings item earlier, I've talked about the traitors. In 3 series, its finale's gone from 4 million to 10 million.
That's correct.
Now, you can build an audience if you give them something they want to watch. Doctor Who, as I think all of us are saying, different age groups, different generations are saying, this is not for me anymore. That's the problem, Sean.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it doesn't make a lot of sense what, you want to make the first gay Doctor. Fine. Knock yourself out. Not bothered. But then look what they do. They go for arguably the most stereotypical thing you've ever seen in your life. He's a clothes horse. He wears a different outfit every 5 minutes. He's over emotional. He cries every episode. He's cowardly. Doesn't save anybody. He calls people babes, honey. there's no sense of any kind of strength. And I'm not saying that you can't call people babes and you can't be camp and be strong. Of course you can. That's not what I'm saying at all. It just doesn't. What have they done to the character? It just doesn't seem to make any sense. And yet this is something they hold up as like an achievement of we've got the first gay doctor. Okay, but you've made them incredibly weak, and you've put them in awful stories with awful writing, and you've not given, again, like Whitaker, you've not given Shooty a chance. Arguably, I don't think he's got what it takes personally, but look what you haven't. It just doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you want to write? Why wouldn't you be thinking, look, we've never had a woman before. We've never had an actor, a gay actor before playing the Doctor that we know of. You never know. we need to come out all guns blazing because people are going to be overly critical on this, rightly or wrongly.
You see, Sean, I mentioned it on my other streams that I noticed that when we get all this messaging, which is obsessive, they then slip up. So the latest slip up was that Rtd'S script for Wish World, he said to bring Omega back and to make this Wish World and all this nonsense, you needed the last Time Lord male and the last Time Lord female. I didn't think we were allowed to say that anymore. And now, of course, they're very distinct. I thought we'd been taught for quite a while now, oh, you idiots, Time Lords are gender fluid. And suddenly, Time Lord, Time Lady, that's why he needed the Rani. That was his weak excuse for bringing her back. And all of a sudden, the idiots who are messaging me, because they're better than me, balls it up.
So, but that's about it. If you watch classic Doctor Who, I think that was sort of always the rules that we always put in our head. Canon was very much you had Time Lords and Time Ladies. There was two different. But that's what I mean. Okay, what would have happened then if because obviously there was no way of telling. What if the Rani bi-generated and one of them come out a man? Then what? You know what I mean?
I think it would kill it for me if the Rani turned into a man, but then it killed it for me when the Master turned into Missy as well. I liked Missy as a separate entity.
I agree with that. You know what? The Missy, or you know what? The Rani may as well be the new Missy, honestly.
So
it should have just been Missy.
Yes, exactly.
No,
so we've got at the moment, I normally have an item on flags of convenience. It's quite clearly in this episode what the flags of convenience are. We normally see where the representation is. And of course, here it is. He called it the misfits and the disabled and the dispossessed. And I think, I can't remember who was saying it earlier, but to have them with a laptop just outside unit headquarters is also blatant. I mean, yeah, right. What great rebels you are in the daylight as well.
I didn't even understand their entire point.
Well, you're who we're preaching to, Sonny. You're one of the bad ones. Yeah.
I didn't know what they did.
We are disabled. We are dispossessed. We are the ones who don't fit in. You ignore us. We're poor and forgotten and irrelevant, and that's the way the world is. Pardon me if I don't ask you, Ruby, to frisk you, but you seem very non-disabled to me. We live outside this world. We're lucky, so we can see better. We can see when things don't make sense. It's perception bias.
Do you know?
Go on, Ryan.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I love that line was put in specifically to because it came into my head immediately whenever that was said. Oh, you don't look very disabled to me. It's like you're saying that in a time whenever invisible disabilities are getting pushed more than ever.
Yeah,
I know, and a lot of that could apply to maybe even a lot of us in this chat right now. You know what I mean? It doesn't. You know what I mean? It was just a really stupid bloody thing that I don't know. Like we all have fucking problems, big whoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh god, I don't. It's just a whole bloody mess. And why are these people? Why do these people remember?
And that blind man was given a line, and his line was spiky. It was sarcastic, wasn't it? Ruby got it in the neck, bless her. I mean, Ruby is the gifted one who can see beyond this reality nonsense, and she's trying to tell the Doctor, you're an idiot. Meanwhile, these disabled characters are saying to her sarky comments, like Shirley said to her, don't be, oh, you sound very ableist. And then, of course, the blind man said, "Oh, like when I listen to Conrad, I've got magical powers, and I can." And you're thinking, "God, these sarky little bloody devils! No wonder you're ignored because you've got an attitude."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yet again, yet again they done it with David Tennant as well. You're basically talking down to your main cast. Yeah, maybe don't try and villainize the people that you're supposed to be on the side on. You know, maybe
Yeah.
keep that for the bad guys. You know.
I'm sorry. I don't care how this. It just makes me sick. I have family members with disabilities, and this stuff makes me feel a bit sick. It makes me a bit sick in my own mouth. Like, you're a writer. Like, get a grip of your bloody self. Like, who are you? Who are you to come on TV and talk like this and push something like this? We're meant to like live in a world like you keep talking about caring for people and being kind to people. You think this is kind to put something like this on TV, like this, in what's meant to be a kids' TV show? You think this is going to help anyone? Do you really? If
And
you
it,
want to help people,
and this
get a
one,
placard and
and
get yourself outside Parliament. Don't be writing stuff like this. It makes me sick with all your little buzzwords and bias this and ableist that. No, RTD. If you want to make a difference, take your multitude of money that you've earned and actually make a difference in the world instead of haranguing us who just want a little bit of entertainment. We just want to come in from work, we've had a rough day, your grandma's ill or whatever. You want to come in, you want to put on the TV, you want to get lost in a space drama with a doctor, a hero, someone you can look up to aspire to, whether he wants a woman in his bed or a man in his bed, irrelevant to me. I just want a show to watch, to forget about my life for half an hour, just to enjoy. I don't need this. I don't need it. People don't want this. They don't. I've lost my. Sorry.
but this,
I don't.
no,
We
wait,
don't need it. This isn't helping. It's not helping
Yeah.
at
Speak for
all.
the.
but
Yeah, the
Sean,
thing.
but sorry, Sean, Sean, this is the point though. I know why you're saying we don't care who's the doctor's in bed with, but we do care that the doctor's in bed at all. He should be solving issues around the universe. We
Yeah.
never saw him asleep. We saw him doing the Planet of the Daleks in coma. That was it. The doctor's normally getting out there and saving the universe. If it's a 45-minute story, I don't want bed scenes. They're boring. Get on with it. And of course, what did we have this week? A bed scene. Honestly, domestic soap opera. RTD. Sci-fi is highbrow, high concept, articulate, sophisticated, and hard to do.
Do you know
You
what
are
this
writing
is?
soap opera.
Yeah, it's ignorant. This is ignorant. It's taking such a
Yeah.
massive issue, like people with disabilities, and the challenge to kind of help them like do the best they can in a world that really isn't designed for people with disabilities, because the majority of us aren't. That's just a fact of life. Then you've got stuff like this saying, "Oh, you don't look very disabled." She could have autism. She could have OCD.
Yeah.
She could have any number of different things. And this, it strikes close to home because I don't
Mm.
like it. I can take a lot. I can take a lot. We've taken a lot from Doctor Who, but this is the kind of stuff that just makes me want to turn it off. And when this gets cancelled, which it will, or rested, I'm not bothered. I'll go back and I'll launch it at the old classic Who. I ain't got a clue who the Rani is. I ain't got a clue who half
But
these
Sean,
people are. I can't wait to dive back into that. I don't care about this
well, Sean,
anymore.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
I'm
Sean,
done.
I've got the whole panel to bring in here,
He's
and
done.
before Ryan, I
He's
think
done.
Sonny, were you saying you loved the scene?
Yeah, I thought this scene was awesome. Not the messaging, that was terrible. But I had my best friend for literally decades was in a wheelchair, and it was due to a disease. But I don't think he would have liked this scene either. I think we would have laughed a lot because when she goes, "We're poor and all sad," I'm like, "Yeah, you are sad." I don't know. It was just really funny to me. Other than that, just because it doesn't ring true, and like I know the truth about it, so it becomes ironically funny to me. But that's
But
about
say,
it.
I had it flashed up early, and I apologize. I'll remember who it was in a minute. Who said, curing Davros and giving him legs
Hmm.
that's not a positive message about disability. That's
It,
actually
it, it
saying Here's a Disney ending that you can't have.
Right.
I
The
don't like this
escapism
message.
out of it.
Yeah, I don't like this message that's on the screen either because it's actually it's bogging anybody down. So anybody white and male is supposed to be toxic and guilty. That episode makes all those young lads feel laboured by the weight of history. This one, anybody with a disability, oh yeah, it is hard. What escapism is
It's
the opposite.
100%. It's to teach them to be forever
Resilient.
victims, perpetual victims.
Yeah, yeah, victim mentality. Go on, Sean. It's not Sean, Ryan, sorry.
Although I've got a couple of things to say, so I'll get the shotgun ready. Number one, some of the things that they say in that quote, like obviously that line,
Yeah.
like the people who are ignored, poor, forgotten about. No, actually, a lot of those qualities are in people like us, and because of things like that, which is what brought us to Doctor Who in the first place. Just saying, maybe not, but I know how I felt whenever I first brought to this show. It was my comfort, basically. Secondly, I would just point out they're all about disabled stuff. Yet in this same era, Russell T Davies has made a point to give the TARDIS a wheelchair ramp that still hasn't been used. And on top of that as well, didn't we literally cover just a few episodes ago that Ruby actually is suffering with PTSD?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I guess so.
There you go. So Ruby says, "Oh, you don't look very disabled to me." Ruby should just be like, "Here, bitch, I got PTSD."
I actually have mental illness.
So that was just to kind of get us all, unfortunately, triggered, I assume, by RTD himself.
Properly.
Yeah. So what I will do now is I'll move us on. Now, Utopia is the future. What's it going to look like? And yes, we will get to Rishwell, don't you worry. But, round the corner is the high-stakes showdown for Ncuti Gatwa's Time Lord, teased for Doctor Who finale. We're told that the Reality War episode on Saturday will see the Doctor and the Time Lord villain, the Rani, go head-to-head in a battle. Well, they've been dancing. So it sounds like a right domestic to me. 1 minute you're in bed with them, dancing with them. The next minute you're fighting. There you go. Ncuti Gatwa's Time Lord is set for high-stakes showdown. In the Reality episode, the Rani rejoined the series during the 803rd Interstellar Song Contest. A bit of context there, but let's just jump on. Emmy Award winning The Good Wife star Archie Panjabi, 52, said, "In the finale, we see the Time Lord and the Time Lady go head." I mean, she's using this language now. This is so retrograde. This is wow. We see the Time Lord and the Time Lady go head to head in a high stakes showdown. Who's going to win? Who will claim the victory? And we all know it'll be the female because we were told in the Star Beast that female presenting Time Lords are always know-it-alls and big heads. So I'm sorry, I know the answer because I've swatted up on Star Beast. She also said that Ncuti and Verada were rock stars. Oh, they made me feel like part of the gang from day one. Oh God, we don't. We were told to go and touch grass. Playing that character is a blast, but being with such a warm and welcoming group made it something very special. Anita has a wicked sense of humour. What's this? Is this a dating site? And we got on like a house on fire. That relationship was effortless, and I hope the audience get to feel that chemistry on screen. I'm still waiting. When I met her, she gave me a big hug. I knew this was somebody I would not only connect with for the purposes of Doctor Who, but would all end up but I would be in touch with for the rest of my life. Panjabi also said she found it pure agony to keep that she was playing the Doctor from Yeah, we've heard that one before. Everybody says that. Now, the Rani is such an iconic character, and fans had been speculating and hoping for her return for a long time. No. Since Christmas 2023, I've been watching the show and seeing the excitement grow around Mrs. Flood. Right. Right. Okay, then. Lads, I didn't want the Rani back. I wasn't asking for it.
Well, as I said the other week, I think we all seen it coming, and I said, you know what, it's probably going to happen, but I'm probably not going to be happy about it simply because it's too predictable. Like, it really was the most predictable thing they possibly could have done. What I will say, though, is in another world, another life, possibly, I think she is very good casting of an updated version of the Rani. Maybe a better script, be
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I think she actually is quite a good actress to portray that role. But saying that, you've just spent the last 2 years building up Mrs. Flood, and then she by generates, and now you got this new Rani, and then basically Anita Dobson has basically become the tea lady. And it's
yeah.
like, oh right, okay. So what was the whole freaking point of that? So it sort of ruins. Like if you did enjoy the last 2 seasons, it was all that build up for a split and change, basically.
Is it just a kind of a switch for the British Empire and India? So basically, you have the Indian Rani and the person with the tea, and I'm running around now is actually the. I just, do you know what? I start to wonder. I really don't want to go there, but I do start to wonder what's going on now.
Well, what
Before
I'll
I bring
say
it,
is, I say this Saturday, Anita Dobson's version of the Rani is probably going to do a change at the end. She's probably going to be a
yes,
goodie at the end, and she'll
Oh
end up
yeah.
turning on her other self.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if David Tennant shows up again. Two doctors, two Ranis. You never bloody know.
yeah,
And I have heard a rumor, and if it's true, oh Jesus Christ! All I'm gonna say is, because I won't say it, like I won't explain the whole thing in case it's true, but to put it simply, Shuji Gatwa, because he bi-generated from David Tennant, basically he can't regenerate. And the same as Rani, he can't regenerate unless the other part of him is there. And then they have to basically meld back into each other again and then regenerate. I've heard something around that, and
yes.
I'm like, oh
We will,
God.
we will, we will have a little word about that. By the way, don't worry. Randy Howell, thank you very much. Is Belinda going to sue Shooty for child support? I mean, they are, there are so many issues. By the way, when she went past in that threshold, she was taken away. When they passed the threshold together, you could see them on either side. When she was taken on the threshold back, she disappeared. It's like there's no consistency in any of this. Anyway, thank you very much, Randy. Um, now, what I was going to show you, of course, is to bring the other lads in as well. So you've heard the hype about the Rani being back and all the rest of it. But here you've got the trailer. It's about a 20-second trailer. Omega is coming back, and there's all this kind of vapors coming out of the clock. I mean, I thought they'd clean Big Ben. Then you've got, Unit Colonel Ibrahim he's now not that pathetic man who doesn't know how to date a woman. He's now fire. And then you've got, with his body, I assume it's Omega's, I can construct a new Gallifrey. And you're thinking, oh, not again. And of course, you'll see what I mean, lads. I had a vibe when I saw these dinosaurs in action of a tat in Empire Strikes Back, because I've got the toy, and
Hmm.
there's one of them on the right. You can see it. It's like the tats. I swear I will stop you, and it's all SFX heavy, but I don't know if it's going to have the dramatic impact that they want. And then you get down to the domestics. My battle is in there. Can you remember all the Genesis arc when there was a big orb and we wondered what was in it? And this week it's what's in the box. And it looks as though she's in a box saving my daughter. So Randy Howell, she might not need child support because she's getting her back. Um, oh God, sorry lads. I've just wanted to give you an update on where we're going.
Oh. I,
No,
why wasn't any of this in the episode? Like
No,
the box or
oh, because
building a new Gallifrey? That would have all been brilliant setup for Wish World.
yeah, I think the problem going into the next episode is you're basically still trying to build the finale. You're going into the
Yeah,
finale, and the
we're
finale
setting
isn't
up a
even
bunch of
built
stuff.
yet.
yeah, I
We're
agree.
setting up the whole episode.
This is too. It's an 8-episode season, and I don't think you should do arcs anymore because it labors it under too much stress. 8 episodes. I think you can just do 8 stories and that's be done with it. I,
Just eight
you know,
separate stories.
yeah, to have a finale, which is actually 25% of your season. Let's just do it in the maths here. 2 episodes out of 8 is the finale. Do me a favor. That's melodramatic crap. That now. Ryan earlier was he talks about rumors and he talks about this, but he had a little play with AI, didn't you? Now, I
Oh
want to
yes.
I want to ask everybody this. From what you've seen from Wish World and from what you've seen from the trailer, are you liking where we're going with Rtd's version, or do you like Ryan's version with the AI? Here it is. The Rani's grand design. The TARDIS rocked violently, sparks flying from the console as klaxons blared. The Doctor, currently in his 11th incarnation, gripping the railing coat, flapping as he frowned at the scanner. Something's overriding the time vortex, pulling us in. A final jolt, silence. He stepped out into the desolate plain beneath a crimson sky. Jagged towers of metal twisted towards the heavens like fossilized roots, and at their centre she waited, the Rani, regal, calculating, smiling like a snake. Doctor, right on time. I needed the most brilliant mind in the universe, and you were so obliging. And a hiss of paralytic gas filled the air. Well, that's his filling his pants. You heard the Who-Pets earlier. He collapsed. When he awoke, he was bound to. Oh, it's getting a bit naughty. This he was bound to a levitating gravity slab. Oops! Surrounded by pulsing light. No, this is sounding dodgy. This was this a porn?
Whoa. Where are we
He's
going?
tied up. We've got pulsing and humming in these. Yeah.
Oh my.
Holographic galaxies spun around him. Yeah, I'm not bothered about them. Rani stood nearby watching him like a scientist, and I couldn't get the last bit before we started. But Ryan, which version do you fancy?
Honest to God, I by the way, I will just point out for the chat, I only done that because I was sitting today and I went, could AI just do something better than what current Doctor Who is? I know what, I have to give the AI credit. At least it actually did get the characterization of the Rani more correct than what the show
It
did.
actually did, yeah.
Yes, because in a way, it's given us that scene from Mark of the Rani when she
Yeah,
had
it
him.
was very Mark
Yeah.
the Run.
And yeah, I won't repeat what I've said on the other streams, but yeah, it gets the Rani right. Sean, when you were listening to that and you were halfway through this story, which one is getting you?
I'm just bored with all of it, if I'm honest. I mean, it's just they're trying. They're just trying so desperately hard to like just muster up any kind of like, oh, this is gonna happen, and you're thinking, I've watched 7 episodes of this series already. I've watched 14, 15, whatever it is, with the since it came back with RTD. I know what I'm gonna get. We're just gonna get more fecal matter thrown at the wall in the hope that some of it sticks. We'll get a bit of messaging. We'll probably everything we've heard. Sorry, yeah, go on.
I was going to say,
it's scorched
we've
earth,
said that so many times though about throwing shit at the wall. This episode was literally the definition of that.
I actually didn't mind the. Again, I didn't. It wasn't terrible. I quite like Ruby. I wish, in a way, they'd stuck with Ruby because I find her the most engaging character. When she's on screen, I actually pay attention. But I don't think I've realised how good she was. Well, how decent she was until this. I mean, some of the acting in this episode from. I'm going to say, mate, 2 seconds. Some of the terrible acting from the Belinda character was horrendous. I mean, the best. Those were the best takes they had. Really?
Yeah, Sean.
Awful.
The Belinda thing, that's obvious. What was Ruby's best line? Just tell me one line.
I mean, I did watch it drunk. You remember? But
I said Ruby, right? What was Ruby's best line?
I just liked the fact that you saw like she was having doubt. There is, to be fair, I'll try and be fair and give them the benefit. There's interesting ideas in there, like that when you have doubts and that core kind of 1984 thing going on. I liked it. It's really heavy-handed, but I like that idea.
So you like when Belinda ran in the forest?
The problem is, though, it's a bit
but
bad.
It wasn't terrible.
Now, whenever you have the previous companion basically outshining the current companion, maybe that's a sign that maybe you should have just kept Millie Gibson on for the entire run of the 2 seasons that it has.
Sure.
Well, again, we don't know why.
Belinda. I think they both were below
yeah, definitely
average.
She does. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Ruby's better.
Well, look at
Sorry, go on,
Shirley.
mate.
She's the scientific advisor. She's now playing Atari. Look, she's playing a games console there. Look, she's got a joystick. Look at it.
Wow.
Well, she's not even got all of it properly. You need your hand up with the trigger, don't you? What's she doing there?
You know what?
Hey,
God.
someone there.
She is not a
Taser
scientific
lady.
advisor until she reverses the polarity of the neutron flow.
Well, there's that. And then, of course, we all laughed at, I did, in Dragonfire, Sylvester McCoy doing a literal cliffhanger. And in a way, Shooty's got a literal cliffhanger as well.
He's trying.
Well, and look at that anger.
His fangs are out, yeah.
Fans are out, but I don't know. This is
Did
is
anybody-
high camp, isn't it? You know, Sean,
well,
the
it was
dancing
strange.
with your enemy.
No, but it was weird though, because when I watched that, she seemed to, and I do like her. She's a good actress. She's been in East is East, all sorts. Like Beckham, I think she's been in all sorts. Proper, really good actress. Shame she's wasted in this. That, like, the dancing around, she seemed to be like low key flirting with him, and I'm like, I don't think he's interested. If I'm honest, I think he's not giving me those vibes. It was very, very odd. I just thought, because surely she knows who he really is, because she's constructed this world. I also, yeah, weird. I don't know, strange.
But look. In essence, there was an element where they were trying to ask Shooty to act as a straight man for about 10 minutes of the episode in this reality. In bed with Belinda, they've got a baby, and they've got domestic straight life. That's what they were selling me as a story. But they still couldn't help it, because even in those 10 minutes when he was supposed to be a straight husband, the way they talked to each other, because it had to have that retrograde 1950s silly vibe, it just seemed panto, like they were both acting, hello, sweetheart, good morning, how are you? Hello, it's just so. Then on top of that, his boyfriend appears from hell, a nightclub that I've never heard of. Hello, check your tables. What a come on line that is. You get a text from somebody saying, I really fancy you. No, you get somebody saying, check your tables. What the hell? I mean, he's a keeper, him, isn't he, Rogue? He's a keeper. He sacrificed his life in that episode to fall down that triangle, into hell. And suddenly when he's in hell, he can find a subwave network. I mean, who knew? And he's stalking him. He's watching everything that Shooty, his ex-boyfriend, does. And when he notices, he's getting tricked by the tables, he gives him a clue and he can get through again. How does that work? The whole bloody thing makes no sense.
I know how it fits. Rogue is Omega. That's the only way they can connect the dots.
Oh, you mean so Omega's gay as well now?
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
To be fair, did you see what he wears in the Three Doctors? To be fair, it is very blue and it's very sparkly.
Well, I mean, Omega. I mean, I bless it. I mean, you said you really. There he is. You said, Omega, I should have been a god. I wished he hadn't said that line, because I think RTD has grabbed it.
You know what, though? See if he doesn't come back with his big helmet, I'm going to be so pissed.
Right. Well, I want to warn everybody, because this was shown on the internet, and it might be just people playing games, but I'm going to show it. But if anybody wants to look away for a second, I'll tell you when you can look back. It's a bit like the football results. Somebody showed this to me, and you may have seen this. It may have no authenticity. It may be just a joke. But I'm going to show it nonetheless, because it's good to test the finale. We know what he looked like in Arc of Infinity, and we know what he looked like here. Right, everyone? If you don't want to see it, turn away now, and I'll tell you to turn back. Are you ready, panel?
Oh, why?
Oh.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no! Right, I'm telling you now, I don't care about getting it. See if that is Omega, I'm going to need a new TV.
I hope it isn't, and I won't describe it if anyone's listening, because I don't want to spoil it just in case. And again, it may not be Omega.
It looks like a possessed. It looks like a possessed ball bag. What is that?
Yeah, it does.
What is that? Seriously? Dear God.
Describe it.
Don't know the worrying thing, because of all the leaks that came out recently, 90% of them have been true. This is worrying.
The thing is, can I just go back to the three
Have
doctors?
any of the leaks been not true?
Yeah,
Seriously, everyone's been true, hasn't it?
Just in little bits. Just in little bits.
I don't think so.
The finale, if it's true, the leaks, that means the Daleks kidnap the Doctor. But then another version, it sounds as though the version that Ryan might have heard, they're talking about that this bi-generation. Now, I was saving that for the next bit because we talk about the bi-generation in a second, but there's another bit about the bi-generation which gives me a different version of an ending. But when in the Three Doctors you saw Omega, you didn't actually see Omega, did you? Because he was invisible. He decayed.
That's true.
So the whole point is, if you're a super fan of Doctor Who, and then Arc of Infinity made no sense to me, really, in how he looked different. But we've just had the Midnight Monster come back, RTD's own creation, and we didn't see it. Why the hell couldn't we just have Omega not seen, rather than this possibility?
Well, you know what? We'll see on Saturday. If I ring you like on Saturday morning, go what the? You will know why. Actually, know what? See this Saturday. This is going to be the Saturday that will go down in history as the Saturday that killed. No, sorry.
But is this
pulled up that?
Is this like a sex disease though? Like crabs or something? I mean, I don't.
I think maybe that's why it looks like a ball back. But I'm telling you now, I think this could be good. I think this will be marvelous promotion campaign for awareness of testicular cancer in men. It's basically saying check your balls, lads, and I think that's really important. This is the kind of messaging I can get behind.
Anyway, I will move on because it's only fair for those. So Peter, you can move back now. You can look again.
Oh my god.
So yes, they've been advertising it in every which way they can on Instagram and everything. And look, it's all about women. Do you know, lads, I was saying earlier the Jaguar effect on Doctor Who. 21 characters. You know I said this, didn't I, Sonny? 21 characters had a speaking part on Saturday, and 16 of them were women. And look, you go, oh, wow, about that. And then some people actually after that said, by the way, Brendan, did you not watch the 60s and 70s episodes when sometimes it was all men? Yes, I did. And when I reviewed The Deadly Assassin, me and Rachel made a point about that. We said it was a brilliant story, but it would have to be made slightly differently now. We agreed with that. But go on, Ryan.
Who's Boomer Doug?
Boomer Doug is our detoxer and Who Nighter, Doug.
All right, okay. Apparently, Julie and him need to get Apparently, Julie says I need to get with him. So not actually get with him, but
on the same show. On the same
yes.
Oh, my God, that'd be out of control. Lads, what did you make of the Bone Palace? I thought it was like the Flintstones. I couldn't take.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the Bone Palace.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
is that actually what it's called?
Yeah.
The Bone Palace. I thought that was a joke. I thought people were like, I know, but what's a Bone Palace? Really? Come on.
Well, it's
not so.
It's a gay nightclub. No, it's not. I don't know. I don't.
No, my God, that is actually such a good name for a gay club.
It is.
Oh my God! Right, Brendan, you need to get that going.
When me and Jamie were just talking about a nightclub we went into years ago in Australia called Throb. I mean, honestly, they know their names. These
just imagine that in Germany. Well, welcome to the Bone Palace.
But when you look at these two creatures, I kind of liked that vibe. I thought it was a clever look.
I was waiting for them to say something, and then I was gonna say these are my favorite characters, but they just never did anything.
To be fair, they were kind of creepy. They were a bit Hellraiserish, they were a bit creepy. But did they use them? No.
Mind you, Alfie Jack is not calling it a Bone Palace. He's calling it an ivory tower. Nice one, lads. Yeah. Well, it looks as though it's got lots of. I mean, that is a standout special effect.
That should be half the next episode.
It just looked very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and it's just I think it's getting lost in everything else. That's a trouble.
Well, it's probably we probably see this for less than 5 minutes of the episode.
Do you
Yeah, because it'd be
know
too
what it looks
expensive.
like? Did you ever watch? We're the under 30s. We should remember. Do you ever remember the program Funny Bones? And it looked like the dog from Funny Bones, doesn't it? Do you remember that cartoon? The dog from those all bones. I've just got
I'm
that
a
now.
boy.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, sorry. Is it an English thing? Oh, could some
I don't
Brendan?
know
Could
what that is.
see if you can pull that up?
Here, I wonder where he's going. I know he's going to the Bone Palace. Hi.
Well, there you go. I mean, so you're gonna have to look away if you didn't want to see who Hamburger might be, because I just need to flick past it. So turn away if you don't want to see it. Turn away now, and you can turn back. Right. So this is RTD getting very excited about advertising the finale. He's been, and I'm sorry, look, Russell Davies calls it the Bone Palace. You can see it there, the Bone Palace.
Russell T. Davis
Look
is
at
in
that
the Bone
set. Look at that
Palace.
set, though. Look at that set. Like, how amazing is that? And what a waste! What an absolute waste! Look how amazing it looks, and they've wasted like that episode on it. It's just what a shame.
It's okay.
It,
If it
it
was
is.
smaller, I think it would be cooler. Just because,
I
like, yeah,
know.
it just looks like a big waste of space. But I don't know. RTD forgot how to smile, huh?
Well, the other thing is, can I just say on the left, I could buy into the design if they remembered one of the things from the 80s that was a big fair criticism, which is the lighting was turned up too much. And the lighting in a lot of these Doctor Who episodes is all out of kilter. This is the finale. This is scary. It's supposed to be. Look at it. It's so light. It could be Strictly
Yeah.
Come Dancing.
It is a bit cat in the hat, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And his advert here, back in action on Saturday in the reality war, Gemma Redgrave, Colonel Ibrahim, can they save the day with the help of secrets on floor -10 of the unit tower. Also on Saturday, after Doctor Who, the first trailer tease for the war between the land and the sea on BBC One and in cinemas. And then you've got all these weird people saying, can't wait. I mean, just look at this person called Moldy Poetry or whatever. This series has been phenomenal. I have so enjoyed the chemistry between the Doctor and Belinda. Yeah, you believe that?
That doesn't sound
That's
written by
their
AI,
cope.
does it?
No,
I
people
hope
believe that.
I hope the finale ties up the whole story beautifully. Oh my god, that person's gonna be
I hope.
inconsolable.
I cope that the finale ties up this whole story. Like that's the cope though. People go like, "Oh, the Dr. Belinda, they're in love," but like
Now,
it
now,
just
Ryan,
annoys.
now, Ryan, you did say about the bi-generation fair dues because we were talking about the Rani, and look what Russell Davies has texted here. Somebody had typed, "There will be an explanation for bi-generation." He's gone, "Yes, there will be."
Well,
Now
thank God, because there has to be something, because something that was meant to be a myth. It's happened like twice within, like, we've seen 2 regenerations, and both of them have been bi-generations, and it's something that's meant to be a myth.
He said, actually.
But this is the same guy who.
Sorry, I'll get Ryan's bit out right here. Not a bit. I'm sorry. It sounds funny. Sorry,
Brendan, don't be getting my bit out. Not again.
Actually, you got your bit
Bone
out early.
Palace.
It's called Ruben.
Oh,
But,
darling.
Right, Ryan,
I see you at the Bone Palace.
and I'll see you at Throb. No, sorry.
No.
Oh, fuck, this is off the rails now.
So Ryan, it looked as though you've read the same rumor as me about me. No,
Come on, you can do it, Brendan. You can do it. Come on.
the bi-generation.
Can we say that later?
Yeah, that-
Sorry.
Oh, fuck me, right.
And that. Sorry. I'm done. I'm not saying anymore.
So no, apparently the rumor I saw, since I've just killed it, is that, and I think you kind of have said it earlier, Ryan, which is this is the other rumor that these bi-generations kill off one of the incarnations and they can't regenerate. So Mrs. Flood can't regenerate, so she's going to sacrifice herself. She'll be the Missy who turns. But that means that the 15th Doctor learns also that the 14th Doctor will not be able to regenerate. So that he does a self-sacrifice. He lands his TARDIS around the other TARDIS, or something like that. And basically, he sacrifices himself so that the 14th Doctor can regenerate into whatever he wants. That's the rumour mill. And by the way, I found this whole series for lots of reasons underwhelming. But the other reason I found this underwhelming is all I seem to be doing when I watch Doctor Who is going, oh yeah, that leak was correct. Tick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was correct. Tick. And I really don't want all this crap to happen. I do want bi-generation to be explained, but number one, lads, would that explain it satisfactorily for you? Would you like us to go back to the 14th and then move in a different way? I don't know. What do you reckon?
I think if it's explained that the fact that, because the Doctor basically poured salt and messed with, the reality, and that's the reason why bi-generation can actually happen. If they're going to explain it and wrap all of that up, do it and never, ever, ever bring it up ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably what they'll do. I need Delta energy to be in the explanation, but other than that, this could low key save the show. I would be okay with going back to Tenet and doing it properly, but I know what comes after it will still be a lot of garbage, but maybe it'll be fun garbage to make fun of. But I need Delta energy to be in there, and then I can go back to
the thing is, could you really bring back David Tennant again
to regenerate?
Well,
Yeah, for an episode, they can. Yeah,
It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It sounds stupid when you.
It would be stupid. Yes.
Well, when Brenda was reading out that
is it more
synopsis,
stupid than Lucky Day?
The thing
probably
is,
not. But when Brenda was reading out,
it sounds, the more likely it is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Go on,
that's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly what I was going to say. Right, when you're reading your synopsis out, Brendan, because I don't look for any of these spoilers are out. I thought that sounds really, really stupid and convoluted. It's probably true. And for me, like bringing Tennant back again, we've already had him. Like I haven't gone back and watched those 60th anniversaries because they were dreadful. That was, I think, when I knew it was going to be bad. They were really, really bad. And I felt like both him and Catherine Tate phoned their performances in. I said that at the time. I thought they were really, really poor. But then it's only got worse. I probably could watch Wild Blue Yonder back and actually semi-enjoy it. The other two, no chance. But that one was at least a little bit interesting. But,
This does look like, I didn't expect this at all. Then I saw the leaks and then it happened. And then I thought, do you know what? I think I know where we're heading here. Then I saw the next leak with the one I've just read out. And so you think, am I happy about this? That you're actually saying that we've wasted 2 seasons on a fantasy. I mean, and I feared that. I feared that with the Disney money, RTD thought, right, I'm going to package it in a certain way. I'm going to spend the money like a madman and make it all fantastical, hocus pocus, surreal. Actually make it harder for the visual effects because suddenly you have to do even more. And instead, we could have had more episodes, less ambition, but better story, and had none of this crap going on. And I just feel as though, I'll tell you what, I am going to say it. If he has the bi-generation, meaning that one of you can't regenerate, and therefore Shooty does this amazing self-sacrifice, you have just done the Bobby Ewing coming out of the shower in Dallas. You have just erased a whole 2 seasons. And I think a lot of people will go, oh, go away, stop it. I hated that sledgehammer TARDIS. I hated all that happened. It was a stupid setup. I mean, the rumour is, Ryan, isn't it, that he throws salt over his shoulder again and all this is erased?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But is the Doctor that stupid? Is the Doctor that thick? This is...
The thing is, right, we've got 2 choices here. Do we go with that stupidity, or do we continue down this path?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're fucked if you do, and you're fucked if you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
And then
It's a
on top
mess.
of that, we have Stephen Moffat, one of the other showrunners, saying you should, there's no need for the Rani. Nobody wants the Rani back. And so I think he was on the money. He says that a few years ago, da-da, and she's brought back because maybe it was a 2-season fantastical wonderlust by RTD, which I think is an utter waste of time. Utter waste of time. And yes, I grant it. Archie Panjabi could be a very good version of the Rani, but number one, she needs story. Jodie Whittaker never got good story either. We need Missy was given half a chance. She was given
She
a
was.
character to play.
Mhm.
The
She was
but
part of the
We
crew.
actually get to see that character evolve over
mm,
3 seasons.
You're right, basically.
the
She was a real
closest
character.
Whittaker came. Sorry, I was actually going to throw a bit of positivity on Whittaker. The closest she came to a decent episode was Village of the Angels in the middle of Flux. Now, Flux was dreadful, but that episode, Village of the Angels, was actually all right. I had a, it was. I remember thinking, oh, this is actually semi Doctor Who. It was all right. Wasn't bad.
Interesting.
But it's just lost all its seriousness for me. Like I don't care. Like, can you imagine how can you remember like Stolen Earth? That episode where you saw Captain Jack and Martha, and she was at unit in New York, and it was going all over the place, introducing you to Torchwood were finally in it, and you were like, and it was really dramatic, and you thought, oh my god, and like it was great. And now you're watching this, and you're thinking, if these kind of reveals would have happened back then, like the Rani reveal should have been like the Master reveal. It should have been. You should be like, oh my god, this is the Rani. And even for people who didn't know, because I didn't know who the Master was, you make it dramatic enough and serious enough that people go, well, this clearly is somebody. And look at the way the Doctor's reacted. This has to be somebody. Like the way he reacted to River
That's
Song when she
basically a
whispered his name and
character,
stuff.
like a character that even if you don't know it, will make you want to go back into Classic Who and discover more about that character.
Yeah. Can I just say, while I get a moment, Lex Kane, I did see your super chat, and as we were laughing and trying to bring the lads on, but I can't reach back to get it now. Can you just write down what you wrote, and I'll say it this time, right? Not the money this time. Just say so, yeah, and I'll say thank you. But so I'm answering his question because I'm not a rude person, and obviously I can't get to it. So whatever you wrote in your super chat, please right now, just call it super chat if you get my gist, and I'll read it out. Okay, so I apologize for that. Thread is very lively because, of course, there would be with all the things that are going on. The sonic screwdriver. I mean, really, she's got a sonic hypodermic or something. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, it's more like a sonic screwdriver than what should you got was. He's got a freaking. He's got a spy remote.
The sonic shoehorn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
Why didn't they just? I was talking to my mate about this the other day. Why didn't they just, the same way Colin Baker had the sonic lance? Why didn't they just call what Shooty has the sonic remote? That simple, sonic remote. Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Garbage, let me just do this because I've got to be a decent host here. Sorry. Garbage, who's one of our moderators, thank you. The super chat from Lex Kane was, the classic Rani doesn't like her homeworld. RTD doesn't know the Rani. That is the essence. Why does she want to bring back Gallifrey when she is a renegade and she's on the run? Thanks, Lex Kane. Thank you, and thanks for being so generous as well. It makes no sense.
Exactly.
Wasn't the Master also trying to bring back Gallifrey, or just the Time
They
Lord?
destroyed it, didn't he? I don't know. It was weird, wasn't it? I don't.
He destroyed
it got very convoluted, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
It's all.
That's why he had to use the Rani.
You're probably right.
So, Stephen Braddock here, let me just bring in, these are no stakes anymore. Compare Wishworld to The Sound of Drums, or Stolen Earth, I'd say, which built the tension through the episode and ended with London being decimated. Now that's a cliffhanger. The thing is, I am now sick to death. We had Star Beast, London was crumbling, and then it got kind of healed. We can't even fill our potholes. But in Star Beast, at the end, all the roads were normal again, even though we'd had all the molten cracks. Honestly, what age group is this for? 18 months old? I mean, honestly, I think it's deeper if you watch Teletubbies or Bluey. Away. Paw Patrol's better than this, for God's sake. I mean,
All right.
honestly,
Don't knock on the storytelling of Bluey. Bluey's
Yeah,
legit.
yeah.
Bluey's legit.
But yeah, I do think,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
but you know,
Goodbye.
soap opera. I have a daughter. And all this about the babies, and I have a daughter, and oh God, are we gonna have a Susan? Are we gonna have Susan, Rani, Omega, all fighting for space? I don't want a baby to be the solution to every blooming arc.
Well, so yeah, we need to wrap that up. That Fred, we need to
That-
see what's going on with Susan. We need to see what's going on with Omega. We need to see what's going on with both Ranis and possibly a Doctor regenerating. Oh, good Christ! And they're trying to. How long's the episode? Is it going to be a
An
feature
hour at
length?
least. It's
an
a
hour.
movie.
Hour and
yeah.
5 minutes.
Oh,
But
it's going to be
I
an
know
hour.
the Daleks
No,
are showing it.
something. And I will
it's-
say this, and now
Yeah,
Russell T Davis is notoriously known for this, for giving us really, really good build-up episodes, and then the actual finale is a little bit meh, and gets wrapped up in like 5 minutes. We didn't even get a good build-up, but they haven't even finished building up to the finale yet. So this week is going to be a disaster of biblical proportions.
I mean, Sean, you wanted to come in. I mean, yeah, go on.
I mean, am I the only one who thinks? And I know this is going to be hashtag triggering. Is there anybody else out there? Because I don't know if this is a leak, but my brain's thinking, right, what's the worst thing they could do? Is anybody else think that Poppy could potentially be a younger version of the girl that comes out of the portal and falls off the cliff in Timeless Children?
It's
Yeah.
very
Is
possible.
there anybody else who thinks they might do that?
It's
No.
very possible.
It's
It is-
possible. But
It is
no.
because, look, God, I've not enjoyed these 2 seasons of Doctor Who, but in this, how much credit would you give if RTD was attempting, let's go with it, to heal the whole Timeless Children mess? Get Gallifrey back at the same time, because that was fluxed and messed up with, and the Cybermasters. Is there, in all this hocus pocus mess, and let me finish here, because I have been highly critical of RTD, but if these 2 seasons are like a kind of little micro universe, a micro galaxy of storyline, all fantasy crap, the shooty Doctor goes back to the David Tennant that started all this off, and then we get back to normal. But now we're back to normal. Gallifrey's back. Timeless Children was explained away, and he thinks he's actually potholed all the potholes in Doctor Who. Would you give him credit if that was his intention?
I don't think he will, simply because he has been very clear on record that he more or less supports the whole Timeless Child story arc, so I don't think he'll try to retcon it. I think he's more or less came out and said that he won't retcon it because he was asked.
He didn't say he would retcon it though. He said he would fix the plot holes, like make the Timeless Children make sense by using Poppy and all that other stuff. And
I don't think he'll try to fix it because he's not.
of course he's not gonna do it, man. But he said you gotta engage with the hypothetical, right? If he did, I almost would be
What
impressed.
do you mean? Of course, he's not going to do it. Sonny, what part of these last RTD's new era has screamed restraint to you?
Luck.
Because none of it has to me. We
Luck.
do not know what they're going to do. They could
Luck.
scorch the earth.
I think Lux had incredible restraint. The story and the engine had pretty good restraint as well, except for they just focused on the wrong bits. Other than that, Dot and Bubble was also pretty good. It was just too gay. That's just all the stuff that I've seen, though.
It was shit.
No,
No,
I
that
wouldn't
was all
call
about-
it
it was
shit.
all
I would
about
watch
Ray,
Dot
it was
and
all about-
Bubble over half of this current season. It was just really, really gay.
Oh, well,
Ricky
I don't-
September was amazing.
I don't.
Loads of
I don't
Doctor
wanna
Who's
see
really, really
Chewie's
gay, but
spit
if
plant in
it's
the
shit,
air.
it's shit.
Loads of Doctor Who is not really, really gay.
So-
Not like Dot and Bubble.
Well, so Alpha Jack.
Hey,
Hold on.
Sonny, you might
A lot of
don't watch
Doctor Who is
Torchwood then.
very, very
Hold
talented.
on. Naughty steps are coming into play here. Right, so there's one, there's Sean's, there's Ryan's, and yeah, Sonny, you're on it as well because I have to be fair. You know when
Hey,
Yay!
Sonny's dropping one there.
So so it's the full set. There you go. But
They were
I was just
talking.
going to say, Alfie Jack was saying in the thread, RTD will cement the Charmers children, not retcon it. I I just do wonder whether yes, he won't stitch up his mate. He calls Chris Chibnall his mate. He did say in a quote last year that the time he can't explain all the bits and bobs of the timeless children, but he does like the foundling idea. We've had the foundling, we've had Ruby Road and all that rest. We've now got Poppy appearing again. I'm just wondering if he's trying to create a narrative somehow that the timeless child is not the Doctor, shuts up all of fandom, makes Chris Chibnall safe to walk the nights again and do conventions and not be taken apart. And unfortunately, if that was his intention, he's just given us 2 seasons of so underwhelming, so un-Doctor Who to heal Doctor Who, that in his attempt to heal Doctor Who, he might have killed it.
You could have healed Doctor Who in one scene, right at the beginning of which Church on Ruby Road, whatever it was. You could have solved it there. Oh, no, the 60th anniversary. Sorry, you could have solved it. You could have had him. Oh, you could have just alluded to it. He could have been talking to Ruby or whoever it was, or Donna about, oh, I didn't know who I was for a while, but the master, he lies. He always lies. You could have just, he could have ignored it. He could have just flippantly but cleverly just kind of dismissed it, waved it away and said, the master lies. The master always lies. They could have done what a lot of people wanted them to do and say, no, the timeless child is actually the master, which makes more sense. But they could have done a lot of things. He could have attacked it and sorted it out, because he seemed to take the mick out of it, didn't he? When he said something like those live streams and lockdowns were going on, and he said something like, "Oh, this doesn't have much weight now. The other million doctors could have turned up," and you kind of thought, oh, okay, maybe he'll come in and sort it out. And the fact he came in and doubled down on it, and then brought all the messaging in, and the stories aren't good either. He got away with a lot. He got away with a lot in the first era.
Which is
That you
why
now look back and go, yeah, they did love wrapping the episode up.
Well, just before I
Go on,
bring
mate.
Sonny in, I'll just mention 2 bits from Nigel Walker. If he managed to retcon the whole mess left by the Timeless Children and the Flux, I would give him points, although he could have given us some good stories as well.
Yeah.
And then he follows that up by saying, I think maybe if they dump Poppy through a portal and she becomes a Timeless Child, there you go. Sonny?
I was just gonna say that first comment. It's exactly why I would give him points. He did double down. The stories aren't good, but if he tried to fix the actual plot, I gotta be happy for it, because that's what I'm watching Doctor Who for. The reason I come back is because the Doctor had all this history, and I want to see it connect. So I would be happy with that, even if it is done badly, which it's already been done badly. He could have fixed this years ago, and he didn't. So
Yeah. So, having watched half of the finale, if I went from Sean first, without my direction now at all, and without having a theme I'm linking it to, what were your highs and lows there? One high, one low, so to speak, that we haven't mentioned so far regarding the Wish World. I don't think he's there. Ryan?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking Sonny. Sorry, I thought you were asking Sonny. Sorry. Well, Sonny went, so I thought he was, sorry. One up, one down from Wish World.
Yeah.
One up, quite like Ruby Sunday. And I quite like the kind of idea of that kind of world.
What I was trying to work out, Sean.
One down. Oh, God, just one.
Well, while you're thinking on your feet, the Ruby Sunday thing, she did stand out a mile because she could see beyond the reality thing. But we were all trying to work out how come suddenly she can see something amazing And the only thing we could think of is, well, she used to go out with Conrad Clark, and because he's on the TV every day, maybe it's triggering her and she sees beyond this and has millions of doubts. I don't know. There's so many plot holes with this. And even with the Ruby Sunday, how come she's amazing? Her man was amazing and solved the Sutek thing. Actually, and so did Ruby because she put the leash on him. She was braver than the 15th Doctor. And now this year, it's her again. My God, is this series called The Ruby Sunday Show?
Yeah, it'd be a better
At least she's
show.
engaging to watch.
Yeah.
It would be. That's the problem.
Have you thought?
But you know, my down would be the disabled stuff. Obviously, you might have got a little teeny weeny hint earlier that annoyed me slightly.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Ryan, a high and a low from this story so far?
Genuinely, there was no highs for me, to be honest with you. I know that is really negative, and I would love to find something positive in this. For me, there wasn't. Like, for me, like, I was watching this the entire time. I was sitting there going, I weirdly preferred last week's a hell of a lot more compared to this. It was a very confusing mess, and by the end of the first part of your finale, all the chess pieces should very much be in play, and you know going into the finale what's going to happen. Well, not what's going to happen, but you know where all the players are. You know the whole setup. We're going into Saturday, and we're still like, you're still setting things up here. It was a mess. I really, really didn't enjoy it at all. Actually, I will give it positive. As always, Ruby Sunday is always very nice to look at.
Well, okay, she's good to look.
And
shouldn't you like Mrs. Flood? You can't say out.
Mrs. Flood is an interesting character with funny moments and is an important, integral part of the plot.
Oh yes, because I want my main bad guy.
She makes a good sandwich. That's about it.
A better sandwich than Ruby.
But
actually, I'll tell you what. Actually, and then I'll pass the question to Sonny. Is the Doctor still a bum?
A bum?
Yeah, is he still a bum?
Sure. He doesn't really save anybody.
What I was going to say, just before I come to Sonny about highs and lows. Go on, Sonny. You do your highs and lows, and then I'll come in.
Okay, my low is the monologuing. The Rani monologuing at me the whole time. I almost fell asleep. The highs, I was fighting to think of something. So I'm going to go with the creepy lady people doing that.
Yeah.
Just because I have to put something.
Yeah, I'm going back to seeing stories when RTD thinks an arc is necessary. So for mine, it was the Stolen Earth. I thought was brilliant. You had the jeopardy of, I must tune in next week, like most of the nation wanted to. Does David Tennant regenerate? Liz Sladen was in a car about to be exterminated. You had Torchwood under attack. There were high stakes, and because he had spent episodes after episodes, Sarah Jane Adventures, a whole series, Torchwood, a whole series, I was bothered. And actually David Tennant had been the Doctor for a little while, so I was bothered. And you'd never seen this before, so I was bothered. But I'm sorry, but what we saw on Saturday, I thought I'd seen before in different ways. I certainly had read before. And so I was just going, all right, okay. And as you were saying, Ryan, I can't see any reason, I will. I can't see any reason why I should really watch. I don't care for this Doctor. I've not enjoyed him. If he falls into some molten lava, who bloody cares? It's all hocus pocus. I mean, that whole reality is disappearing. So all those characters, whatever. I don't know. The whole thing is such a mess. And nobody is likable enough to care for. Those disabled people, nasty pieces of work, they seem to be too sarky. Sarcasm is never an attractive feature. I don't know. I've got no passion and no emotion for anybody in this.
You can't bring up the passion for Conrad? He's an excellent character. Yeah.
Well, like the lads say, they like looking at Ruby Sunday. Yes, Conrad. Yeah. But you know, you wouldn't go on a date with him to.
He's a good actor, though.
Yeah, no, but he's
actually, like, when he comes on screen. You like I kind of was interested with what was going on with him, and like he seems to be in a room off on his own
Mhm.
reading
prison.
Harry Potter. Sorry, Doctor Who.
It's a
Sorry,
prison.
everybody. And I was like, yeah, but I like the whole kind of strange, twisted, like bedtime story thing they had going on with the whole like, hi Conrad. Conrad's on. I like that whole like 1984 feel. I know I'm reaching like fucking steps, reach for the sky with this positive swearing. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Go on, right,
I was
Ryan.
gonna say, what if, like, don't get like, remember somebody picked up the toy maker's tooth with the master's essence in it? What if they put the master's? What if Conrad is the master's new body? Who knows?
What if that baby is, well, oh, there's too many what ifs, but yes, it's a white baby they're holding and telling stories to.
True. So it's evil.
Could it be? Well, it could be anybody. I've almost figured it out.
Omega. Yeah. It's
It could,
Omega.
it's basically an extra. Let's be honest with you. But the story time, Conrad Clark, he's in a prison, a bone prison. It's another nightclub.
Hey.
Look, RTD, it's not far away, is it? All this storyline. He's thinking, I've got a gorgeous actor in a Bone Palace prison. It's kind of working on my level, but nobody will notice. Yeah, we've noticed. But the Harry Potter thing and the Doctor Who and the Deadly Wish, I hate this meta stuff. And remember, there is also the suspicion that those 3 bloody fans might come back next week.
Yeah.
I know. I love the fact there now is a debate going on in the chat who's hotter between Belinda and Ruby.
And Conrad.
All right, I'm Conrad. Sorry
Let's go,
for
Conrad.
all of the.
Yes,
people
we
out
like
there
to
who
we like to be
Conrad.
inclusive. So anyway, I don't know. This I found tedious, and this, I mean, the cliffhanger of all time in Doctor Who, not.
Why are
Oh.
explosions like purple? They did this with bloody the last one of the 60th. Can't remember what it's called. They did it with London exploding. Oh, was it I don't care which one it was. And it was all like pink and purpley and that. Like what the bloody like
Fantasy World.
as fire changed.
Yeah,
Fantasy
well,
World.
It's like Teletubby.
is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flag, isn't it? The other thing is, well, put it this way: Shooty is falling from his bone palace into a pink, maelstrom of mess
Portal?
underneath. Portal. I mean, does he want to go through a portal? I don't know.
I love that Sonny's now getting involved in the chat.
Oh God! So everybody's saying who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, we're having a good conversation. Chat.
Martha was hot. I have to say, I appreciate that. Martha was hot.
Martha was a bombshell.
Yeah,
she's a
don't
great
you fancy-
companion as well.
I was going to say to you lads, though, Susan Twist last year, there's a twist at the end, Sue Tech. We had the Sue Tech. He was very subtle. This year, the Rani was Mrs. Flood, Rain. We all guessed it. I'm just wondering if, because of all this gay vibe, Sergeant Benton might come back. And then they split the name up, Bent one. You know, I just sometimes wonder whether we should take a classic character, and he goes, "Didn't you see all the time? Benton was a hint, like Bad Wolf."
Do you know what though, Brendan?
That
That bit when Shooty, well, it is Shooty, but the doctor said to Shooty, you can't say, said to whatever his face is, the unit fella, like, oh, don't, like, he was trying to encourage him to ask her out, and then he's like, oh no, you're a good looking guy, and it was that moment where like they had that change. I quite liked that. I thought that was like, oh, that's a bit dark. I quite liked it because I thought it was like, it was like they let you. For once, like you could build your story behind it. Like, how often has that happened in an office where someone's accidentally like almost outed themselves? Do you know what I mean? I thought that was interesting, and I liked the darkness. But the problem is they've done so much that was so unsubtle that any like little bits like that, a lot of people just won't let pass or won't have it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I quite like that dark that switch.
Can I just put up, though, I completely agree with what Leah Smith is saying, that Joe Grant is lava. One of my, probably my first ever big Doctor Who crush was Joe Grant. Oh my god.
You mean when she was hugging a Dalek?
Oh, here, even the way she, here, if she was here now, I wouldn't kick her out of bed.
I'm heading for hell. Sorry, guys. Bye.
Fun, baby, fun. Disco Inferno.
He doesn't look that unhappy being in hell, I have to say. But
He's Omega.
But this whole setup has just got me, and I'm not buying into any of it. I mean, look at it. There's another version that will trigger Sean. That poor little taxi in the calendar. There you go. Look at it. I don't know.
Money well spent.
He's not going to get a good Uber rating, is he?
No, because that would be expensive. But anyway, what I was.
Oh, look at that big shard! Look at that big shard. Sorry.
Exactly. Right, and there you go. Look at that. That's not bad. Look at that.
Yeah, we can fix
that
the
looks
skin.
good. What a waste.
To be fair, that is very Hellraiser.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's like steampunk, isn't it?
It's wasted. That is creepy and it's wasted. That's a very cool design.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the idea that they were like reaching down and they were trying to control a little bit like the controller in the long game, not the long game, sorry. You know, the one that was all plugged in. She was like 5, 6, 8, 12. The one that like was hiding the Daleks in the space station.
Yeah, she's all wired up.
She was blind. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
So do you know, as we're doing this, and I can see the thread, it's a bit like the people used to talk about the Michelin posters in men's garages and stuff. It's like I feel as there's an alternative thing going on here. Basically, I should do a stream which is who was hot in Doctor Who, and I'm going to get what
the Doctor Who calendar. Yeah.
Sorry,
who's hot? Who's not?
I might have started something there. Apologies.
Well, who's not hot is more to do with the ratings, and I just want to wrap them up and get your quick comments, lads, before we go. So 3.75 was the consolidated for the one that you all secretly liked a bit more than you expected, which in the scheme of things means what? I was a bit confused myself. Should I be happy or sad? I did a quick consolidated comparison. The blue line is Shooty's season now. So you can see his latest episode nearly reaches his last year's. His last year's season is in red. Jodie Whittaker's is in grey. Can you see what's going on here? It's getting worse and worse and worse, year by year by year. I won't go over that now because I did it in an earlier one. But basically, when we looked at even those who say this was good news, the consolidated, the Eurovision Song Contest itself got 7 million. Doctor Who, that was trying to pretend it was the Eurovision, got 53% of that audience. So in other words, how come people didn't hang around for Doctor Who when it was doing exactly what RTD thought they'd like? Isn't that weird? That's a failure, isn't it?
It's barely half the audience share.
Yeah, 53%.
Do it. I would just hope all of these signs would show the higher ups like we have to do something different. Like we're not pulling in viewers on easy days, and our own news people are saying bad things about our show now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying on the actual figures there, Ryan. That's bad, isn't it? You'd expect if 7 million is the Eurovision, which is a big event, I know. That surely, if Doctor Who is trying to do a mini episode about the Eurovision, it would be in the high 4s or 5s, surely.
Well, it ain't good, is it?
I don't think so.
But I'll tell you what is good. I'll tell you what is good. Garbage's comment about the woman from Blink. Completely agree. What is her name? I need her name. Flip me. She's what?
Yes, she's in Hollywood. Now,
is it Carrie Mulligan? Is it Carrie Mulligan?
It's
Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And just I'm it's like me throwing cold water on these lads now. It's impossible, isn't it? Basically, Brendan is now the bromide of the channel. So 20. You've got 7
the
million.
cornflakes.
Now, this is what I mean. Traitors has increased. Look at their audience. How
They
each
just
year,
go up, yeah.
yeah, 4.7, 8 million, 10 million. They have built an audience.
It just proves the point, though. If you build it, they will come. If you make something good, people will watch it. Simple as that.
Yep, yep. And it you know, if you look at the Eurovision, it is maintained. People are saying TV's dying. Traitors disproves that, and so
Yeah.
does the Eurovision. If you just compare it with itself, then I think you're being fair. And basically, you can see 2018 it got 7 million, 2019 got 7.3, 2022 it got 9.3, I mean, it goes up and down around that spectrum, but that means the 7 million it got this year is like back to its 2018 level. It's doing all right, blah, blah, blah. Doctor Who is all over the blooming shop. And so I think, whichever metric you use, it is an indictment to the whole blooming show at the moment, an absolute stinker. I've got loads more I'll show another day. Because obviously we're nearly done. But just to give you one final laugh, it normally causes a laugh. I never expected it last time, but you can see the Eurovision was number one, of course. Race Across the World, Code of Silence, Britain's Got Talent, 3 Coronation Streets, then Antiques Roadshow. This is the one I said earlier, lads. Isn't this weird? Antiques Roadshow
Just beat it again.
beat
It's a
Doctor
really,
Who with all
it
the
has
Disney
drama.
money. And this was the Interstellar
Oh, yeah.
Song Contest. This was the big juggernaut.
Of course it has. Of course it's beaten it. You know what you're going to get with the Antiques Roadshow? You can sit around, you can watch it, you can enjoy it. You know, you can play bets, stick 20p down, see what's going to come up. Like it's people, you know what you're going to get, and it'll have a very loyal little audience that of people who watch it religiously. Doctor Who does not have, you know, Sunday at 8 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? As well, like that's
A
not
good time.
prime time either. So
Mhm.
you know,
What I will say about Antiques Roadshow is it's the same every week. We know what it's doing. And I don't think there's a DEI agenda, and I don't think there's other agendas. I think the agenda is the antique.
Mhm.
And that's the issue. And I think Doctor Who has gone down a rabbit hole, and I think we're seeing the end of that. Lads, it's been a pleasure tonight. So, first of all, Sean, do you want to give your. Why are you doing the Titan review? What's that about the Titanic you're doing on your channel?
oh yeah. So there's a new documentary going to Netflix, and there's one on BBC tonight actually about the Titan submersible that imploded near the wreck of the Titanic. So me and a lad from well, he's Italian but he lives in the Netherlands, Jamie, funny enough, we're reviewing the trailer and we're talking about what we hope the documentary does and what we hope it doesn't do. And yeah, there's loads more on the channel as well, where I look at some Titanic stuff. I managed to speak to the cousin of J. Bruce Ismay, who was the chairman of the White Star Line that owned the Titanic, about his relative in a recent episode. So I've done quite a few Titanic bits and bobs here and there, alongside my film podcast, because it was a toss-up as to whether I did a Doctor Who. No, it wasn't. Whether I did a Titanic or a film
Well, go on, Ryan.
podcast, but I
know
thought
Ryan wants to
the
come in
film
here.
bit had more legs.
I had no idea you were a Titanic nerd.
Oh, massive, absolutely massive.
Dude,
yeah.
We need to. Do you ever remember Titanic Connect?
I've said, well, I meant vaguely. Well, I've looked at your website and I saw your little rec things, and I was meaning to have that chat with you at some point. So yeah, we'll have to.
No, honestly,
have a chat.
like Titanic is literally my soul.
Yeah. So there you go. You see, this is how we
Get you on
get.
as a guest.
Ew.
You've got now. Garbage is doing a sterling job. He's just advertised Sean's channel. He's just Ryan's. We've got your Titan website up, and of course, we're going to ask Sonny now about your channel.
Yeah, Sunny Waffles. I think I dropped the numbers. Some Pokemon stuff on that channel. I'm be live streaming on Twitch or Kick at Sunny Waffles. You should be able to find me easily. Probably an hour after this, and yeah, just hang out.
And go on, Ryan. I know we've put it in the thread, but what's this Titan Studios thing you do?
It's my little 3D printing business. I mean, yeah. And if you want something made by the company that 3D printed stuff for Doctor Who, come to me. That's a good plug-in thing, isn't it?
That's a good
You know what I mean?
plug-in thing. That's a
Come
good-
to me.
Well, lads, we've had a good laugh tonight. It's been good, and I think the thread enjoys that. It is a really good one, and I think they missed it last week when we well, my fault. But basically, we're back on, and I'm dying to see what you think of the finale next week, because
I think we can predict that next Tuesday is going to be a shit show, but it's going to be funny. I think.
will it be Omega
Oh,
looking like you know what? Will it be the there's so much stuff. So thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure, and I've really loved it. So thank you. Thank you to Garbage and Divine and Dragon and moderators there. They work so hard. Thank you, everybody. See you again. Bye.
Hey guys, watch out for the ball bag.